Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, April 13th Park and Rec Board meeting. Madam Secretary Nicole, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Tammy Lavenda,
I'm here.
Nora Kodak,
Here.
George Ortel,
I'm here.
Nicole Sussman, here, and Kyle Riefler.
I'm here.
All right, perfect. First item on the agenda, can I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
I make the motion to approve the agenda.
And I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Item number 2, approval of the March 16th, 2022 Park and Rec Board meeting minutes. I make a motion to approve those.
I'll second it.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So they are approved. Okay, item number 3 is election of officers. I thought this came in September, but surprise, it's today.
Came in April. Oh, it must be April.
Yeah, so I guess it's April. But anyway, can I have, we'll just go in order of chair, vice chair, and secretary. So does someone want to make a motion for?
I make a motion
chair?
we nominate Tammy for chair.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So I'm still the chair. All right, thank you. Can I have a motion for the vice chair?
I make the motion to nominate Nora.
And I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Nora is the vice chair, and now is for the secretary. I'd like to make a motion to nominate Nicole for the secretary. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Nora seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And George is still officially our historian, since he's been on several Park and Rec boards and he knows what everybody's done in the past and what works and what doesn't. So you're still historian, George.
Okay. Didn't know that was a position.
I just created it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So item number 4, citizen comments. We have no citizens, so on to number 5. Discussion of new member recruiting and volunteers. This is a reminder to, thank you. This is a reminder to please, as you're out, like I took the applications to the last beach cleanup, or if I just see people, or if you see people that maybe in the past that has said, maybe I'm interested, just maybe kind of direct them to where the application is, would be great. Does anybody else have anything to say about that?
Oh, thanks, George. Oh,
Do you want all chocolate? Nicole? This is chocolate cake.
do you want the vanilla one?
I don't care.
Here,
It's up to you.
that works.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I thought they were all the same.
No, there's chocolate cake and white cake.
Did I give you the wrong cake or you
I'm
okay?
good with whatever anyone does not, because you're not discriminating.
I have to have chocolate,
Do you have chocolate?
otherwise I'm leaving.
Or what?
I'm gonna
He
leave.
said he's leaving.
Thank you, George.
Has anybody talked to anybody that's interested? I know it's on the sign now, which hopefully will help. I know it's always on the website, which, so hopefully we get some people filling out applications. Anybody else have anything in regards?
No, I've asked 1 or 2 people, but
Okay, it's just an ongoing thing, I know. Okay, so item number 6 on the agenda today is the park survey presentation. So everybody had their parks assigned. Does anyone want to go first, or should we just go around the table?
it doesn't matter to me what order.
Nicole wants to go first.
Okay, Nicole, are you ready?
Sure. So you want me to just like talk about them or
Yeah,
and then show the pictures?
yeah.
Alright.
If there's something that you think needs to be shown, you can pass the picture around. Kyle, do you think it like when, can you combine everybody's emails and send it out to everyone so everybody has like in their
Yeah, for your
email?
records?
Yeah, for your records, and that way
Yeah.
we can just get a visual today, and then I know you have that nice recap sheet that you put together,
Mhm.
and
Alright. I'm just gonna go in order as I like seen them, because I remember. Even though I have pictures.
I may not get all the emails.
No, you're good. Okay, so I did the marina, and overall the marina is in really good shape. I mean, obviously besides the parking lot, but the gate was fine, the walkways were fine, and then there was just one thing that I seen that I was like, I don't know whose property this is, but this is like open. So if someone was to trip and fall, they are going to fall in the water. This is the picture. There's like, the gate just like cuts off, so I'm not sure. I thought I would just ask about it, like if that's even our property or not.
That was Old Slip 1,
Got it.
which they stopped renting out as a slip because of the outfall that's located in it. And then it used to be, the fence came all the way across, but the idea of changing the fencing was to allow access to the water from the marina to the Bel Air Beach residents that did not have a boat and a slip.
Okay.
So it was, the idea was for Bel Air Beach resident, you know, obviously with their sticker to be able to put like a kayak or something. Or do
Is there a kayak ramp, or you just?
There
drop
isn't.
down?
It's kind of like a drop down. You'd have to do it pretty carefully.
Yeah, because
If
when
the
I
tide
did,
was really high, it'd be easier with it.
yeah, I did the marina survey last time, and it was fully fenced, so we must have still been renting out slot 1.
Yeah, so that's like what I seen, and then
We weren't renting it. It hasn't been rented in a long time.
Oh, it was just.
It was just fenced in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so yeah, that was like the major like issue, and then everything else was good. Like the greenery and everything was
Just getting
maintained,
baskets full.
and then the locks were working because like obviously I couldn't get in there, so it was like working, but people are maintaining it.
They usually tell us when something's not functioning correctly. And we go,
Yeah,
address it.
so that was all good. And then the next one was Morgan Park. Overall, that was also in good shape. There was just a few things that I seen there, which I'll get. Have my pictures. I did see like some cracks like in the like parking lot, which
Which is gonna get resurfaced.
great. Seems like every parking lot needs a little help. I'm pretty sure this was Morgan Park. Yeah, there was like this hole that if someone's not paying attention, they are going to fall and break
Okay.
their ankle. I'm pretty sure it's Morgan Park, but I can double check. And then, hold on.
It kind of looks like an access.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be one. Okay, so then
Well,
maybe
the
it's
access,
not.
we'll find out which one.
Usually
But-
those have covers though on them, don't they? The accessors.
I don't know what that hole is from.
Picture.
Weird. It looks like it's got sand in it or something. What?
Yeah, so maybe it's not. I'd have to look. Go back and look. Sorry,
No, it's fine.
I was just looking for my other pictures,
Looking
but
decipher. Let's see. What did you write down here?
they're not in order. But so yeah, parking station was working. All of the like benches were fine. There was a good amount of trash cans, so there wasn't like trash everywhere. Obviously said about the parking lot.
It looks like 12th Street.
Okay, and
Near
then
the sand, yeah.
I did see that partial like trees from like the neighbors at Morgan Park were like growing over, so I don't know who handles that.
We typically just trim what needs to be trimmed on our side.
Okay, yeah, there's a picture in here of that. And then the other thing was like, there was a picture of like stagnant water. And I don't know if it's just like built up there from the shower, but that was,
At Morgan. Okay.
yeah, that was, here they are,
Where was the water at?
behind the trash can, so all of
Oh.
this. But other than that, everything else
That's
was
okay, because there's poor drainage there.
here.
And we trench that area out to keep it off of the walkway,
Okay.
to keep
perfect.
it safe.
Cool.
So,
And the
yeah.
bathrooms were fine. I checked them. And then,
Where are the-
so I'll kind of like just do them together. So 6th Street and 12th Street beach access, both of them were in good shape. Like the benches, walkways, all of that was clear. There was nothing like really concerning. And then the other thing for both of them was just like the parking lot, like had the cracks, and then that one picture, the 12th Street picture of that dip. But other than that, like everything was, the greenery was maintained and the parking was fine, so
Nice.
yeah.
Did anybody get the packet for Belle Isle? Because I surveyed that one, but it's not in my stack. So I have 4, but I did 5.
I will, let me check. Belle Isle. I had that one, I know, I did.
I just didn't know if it landed on somebody else's.
I have my 4 unless it was stuck over here.
So I got 2 South Parks from you, a 2nd Street, a Hibiscus 16th. Let me talk to Belle Isle. Ballard Beach. Which day did you email that? That was,
They're all together. Oh, it
was
would
it
have been
yesterday?
Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, it may not have come through.
See, it's on my screen as going through. Like it's between 6th Street. Look, it's between 16th and 2nd.
This looks so
Okay, can you forward again?
Yeah.
I'll see if I get it. I'll just print it.
I don't have time. Oh yeah, they should be on there. Okay, there you go.
Okay. I'll probably see any more emails from you.
Should I just keep going or?
Yeah, just keep going. Hopefully it comes to me.
Okay, George, do you want to go next?
Sure.
I'll just do mine together.
I'll do 7th Street first because Carl has the plans for 7th Street, and I think everything I saw is going to be updated in the 7th Street project. One thing I was concerned about was the, let's see, I have notes that are reading. Generally in good condition. Seawall is in poor condition, but that's going to be fixed. Potential improvement, ramp is in poor condition. That's, I believe, going to be fixed, although I don't think it can be. It's got 2 levels in it, and one of them empties out into shallow water out in front, and I don't think you can get a boat out there through those 2 levels. It might have trouble getting it into the water because it's so, the ramps are not smooth and going down. They might change and do this thing and might hang up somewhere.
Okay.
And of course, the ramp area is very narrow because there's seawalls on either side of it, so it's, they're going to have to be very careful trying to launch a boat from there. When I looked at it, the docking area was gone, but that's
Yes.
going to be
That's
replaced.
going to be replaced.
And I guess there'll be tie-up. There has to be tie-ups on the docking area for when you launch the boat. You tie it off first and launch the boat. Oh, the entrance to the ramp area passes all those pipes and pumps and all of that stuff on the right end, the south side of the road to the ramp. It's kind of ugly. It used to be not as complex, and we had, looked like trees around it or foliage around it. But that's not the case now, and so it's all these pipes and pumps and stuff. We ought to consider landscaping some way around it to hide it a little bit, because the property owners, I suspect, on either side are. That wouldn't be great for property value, going through all those pumps and pipes and stuff as you try to get to your house. So that's something to consider. I didn't take any pictures because I thought it'd all be changed. When do we expect that project to be done?
They just recently got the bids back. They came back higher than budgeted. So council's been told they're either going to approve, the bids as they are. We're trying to figure out if we separated, because we bid the 7th Street, we bid it all together, hoping that would give a better price. So we bid the ramp and the seawalls together. But we're trying to find out, we're getting an estimate if we separate it out and put it back out to bid, if we'll get a better price. So
we're in a holding pattern until
we're either gonna,
council makes some decision.
we're gonna try to get an idea if we think we could get a better price. If we don't, then council will make a decision probably to
cut back on it to fit can we cut back on it to fit in?
Well, it sounded like they were willing to pay more to get the seawall replaced. And then we're looking into an alternative option to refurbish the boat ramp. If there's some kind of overlay that can be done, just to improve the condition, because it's still functional.
So
as far as
there's kind of three areas, the way I see it right now. There's the boat ramp, dock, and the issue about aesthetics around the pipes and pumps and stuff like that.
yeah, that would have to be okay with the county, because I'd have to find out what kind of access they
Sure.
need for the work they do.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, those are the
okay.
three things that stood out to me, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of it funded. To do
Yeah.
that thing. The other thing I have was the 19th Street beach access. And initially when I saw it, I said, it's in really good condition, everything looks fine. But the sand dune in that area has really grown a lot seaward. And the only path out is right on the north side of the showers. And I guess the sand dune tries to keep pushing that direction, but if it doesn't, we're going to have people all going through that property, private property, on the north side of the access.
So we're not letting it get to grow any more, as far as to the north, to prevent access to the beach.
I didn't hear your question.
So yeah, we're not gonna let it grow to where you can't access the beach from the beach access, but we can't cut down on how
It used to
far.
be that the walkway coming up to the,
Yeah, it was probably open right there.
it was open there,
Yeah.
and there were some steps there with a handrail that went down to the beach.
Yeah, and it's grown so much
That was the
since
main
then.
access point, and it wasn't to the south. So we are,
We're kind of stuck with what we got right now.
yeah, but we have to keep our eye on it, because
Right, make sure it doesn't grow where you
if it
just
does grow, we
completely-
might want to try to cut a pathway straight out again the way it was.
Well,
initially.
we can maintain what we have. We just can't cut it back.
Because of the COs, is that? Or-
Yeah, because we can't destroy the dune that's there.
Okay, I'm just, the other point, I mean, it's really nice to be able to sit on those benches and sunset and
Mhm.
look at the,
Mm.
out over the water and watch the sunset and people walking up and down the beach. There's one other thing on the south side of the park area, in the middle of the sand dunes, there's a sea grape tree. Ugly tree. Is that protected or can we cut that down?
Yeah, that is protected because it's to the seaside of the coastal construction.
Seaside of the
Seaward of the coastal construction. Line.
of the nourishment area. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's
So-
regulated.
So the line is the old seawall.
Right at that point, it's pretty much right where the old seawall was.
And seaward of that, you can't touch anything.
There's regulations. You can trim it so much a year.
I know we can trim the COs. And
We can trim the COs
what about that?
on private property, and then there's regulations for anything.
Anything seaward of that
Yeah.
seawall requires regulation.
Yeah.
Because the sea oats are getting, well, the sea oats are so tall in front of the south side
You
of
can't
the
see.
entrance, you can't see anything really anyway. And there used to be park benches over there, but now there's no sense having benches over there to look at the backside of the dune. I guess somebody might want to watch that, I don't know. But is there something we can do there as far as elevating the benches up where those palm trees are and looking out from there?
Put the benches up on the grass.
Yeah.
It'd be just tough to maintain around the bench without a pad of sorts.
Well, it's something I
The-
think we should consider because we really don't have any, we're only getting half the park area. 2 benches or 3 benches, I guess, on the south side of that.
And you know what, Kyle, in South Park, there's a bench and it's on the grass. It's not on a pad. It's not even really on, they put the shells around some of the trees. So maybe
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you could put shell.
you could put shells down. It doesn't have to be like a concrete. That would be a less expensive way than a pad. But
Yeah.
it is done at South Park where there's a bench with no, and they mow around it, I guess is my point. So they
Yeah.
do it there. But there's no sand spurs, like the beach accesses, if you walk through the grass with no shoes.
There's lots of sand, so we try to keep them off the
Yeah.
walkway so they don't catch people.
Yeah.
Well, I've got something for you.
That's for Tammy.
Thanks, George. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And George, you can take this one home to Donna,
Oh, okay.
because I'm refraining from chocolate. I've just had so much cake and cookies in the last month. I gotta say no somewhere.
Just so you know.
But she'll appreciate it because I know she has a sweet tooth.
She does.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, with the sand spurs, we try to keep them away from the walkways and the shower and all that, but we don't try to maintain them all inside of that whole grass area because this is so much to cover.
So you think there'd be sand spurs up by the, if we put benches up there?
Not if we put shell, there won't be.
Okay. Well, it's something to consider because we're only utilizing half of the park area there.
Yeah.
Where we,
Is the grass that much higher than where the concrete is?
It's a little higher. All that used to be level, and it used to be a seawall where it went down to the beach. Over time, that dunes built up, the beach has risen up, and then all that grass, the sand's blown in and raised all that. So you got like a good 2 feet off the sidewalk now, just from sand blowing in.
and they dig it out all the time, I noticed. That,
Yeah, they dig out to keep the sidewalk exposed,
Right.
but the rest of it's just elevated.
Yeah. And you can't see over it, but that's why I thought if we had elevated benches on the east side of the walkway, it'd be, I don't know,
Right.
more utilization of the park. And the other thing was the sea grape tree that I'd like to see cut down, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, what about the possibility of a bike rack or something like that for people that want to come down by the bikes and go for a walk on the beach? Is there someplace we could put a bike rack there?
Be good to have a picture. I mean, you think there's enough room on the north side? Can't remember if we'll look at it.
On the north side,
Where it opens up.
yeah, it seemed like we did have something there at one time, a bike rack, for a while. I don't know if there's enough room because of the windblown sand building up the grasses.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that, but it's worth looking at and seeing where it might work.
Most people I know on like 6th Street, people that bring bikes, they just kind of either leave it or put it on the backside of the bench.
Yeah, I don't know. I know some people used to, when that walk went down the steps to the beach area, before it was all covered with sand, people used to put their bikes on that and put a lock on it
On the rail.
on the rail.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. It might be consideration for a bike ramp, a bike rack there. Yeah, that's about all I have then.
Okay, thank you, George.
Can I have and
They're just
I'll
hand
send it
notes.
back to everybody. I'll scan it and email it and then, yeah.
Okay, I did 4 of them, and Crossman Park, which is right across from here, this little catty corner, I thought it was really well maintained. I don't think there was much, I don't think it's heavily trafficked. I don't think it's used much. The only thing I saw that there was a garbage can back there. I wonder how much it's used, but there was a sign on it at some point. And it's kind of hard to see. And I don't even know what was on there, but you could tell there was a sign there. There's a stick right there.
Oh, okay.
You can see it.
Oh,
and
I think
there's
that-
nothing above it.
Are they anchoring the can to that
Is that
new
what
channel?
that is?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that was a sign at some point. I can look back at my phone because it looks like that's even
They might be able to
pushed
just come
off.
out. It might, yeah. So we'll look at that.
Listen, I'm just nitpicking at this one because this one was really nice. There's
Yeah.
a big dead bush in there. I think that could be pulled,
It can be.
but the rest of it's really nice.
But yeah, we'll work that.
Can we take, how long do those need to stay there? I know they're necessary and important and they're markers for pipes and whatnot, but the entire corner,
I know.
including the posts, the wood post. So I kind of was driving in and I was like, gosh, if I was just driving in,
Yeah.
looking at this, it is spray painted.
It looks like graffiti.
We
It
don't
is
have-
spray painted top to bottom, and I know they're important, but I wonder if they're already been, what they were used for, if they've already been done, maybe we can scrub them off now,
Okay.
or.
Does that
It's just-
disintegrate? How do they get that off?
It's supposed to come off over time. It's supposed to break
How
down.
much time, look, it's hard for you guys to see back there, but I can pass that around. That has lettering going up and down, that's from afar, and then there's just tons of, the entire corner is just spray painted. If it's past due, it'd be nice to remove it. Is it the end of
I
the
think
world?
we're waiting on the communication lines to be done, and they're taking a long time.
Okay. 20th Street Park. This one was me. This one was fun. There's multiple people's mailboxes on property. And I'm standing there and I'm going next door. I'm like, this is a single family residence. Why does he have 3 mailboxes and they have different addresses? And as I'm standing there, some lady comes out from across the street, grabs her mail, and then goes back across the street. And I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, is this your mailbox? And she's like, yes. She's like, 20-something years. And she rolled her eyes and went back inside, and I was like, what? So I talked to the neighbor, And he goes, well, this is my neighbor's mailbox from over there. This is her mailbox. And I go, and he goes, and his mailbox is cut off and on the floor. It didn't make sense to me until I started driving around and realizing there's a common theme with mailboxes being on one side of certain areas of Bel Air Beach. I mean,
Oh.
see, hard to see that there's a black mailbox right here.
Yeah, I see it.
That is his mailbox. This mailbox that's on the floor, that kind of fell off, that is his across the street neighbor. This mailbox is catty corner to, I took pictures of their houses, but I didn't. I don't know if I sent them all to you.
20th Street, for the historian part of it, used to have just mailboxes on the south side of the street
Yeah,
in clumps of 3. So one would be across the street on the north side, and if you get permission from the post office to change where the mailboxes were. When I moved there, my mailbox was on the south side of the street, and because my wife was handicapped, it wasn't about to happen. She'd never get the mail. So I talked to John, the mailman, and he said, "Oh yeah, no problem. Just talk to the people down in Indian Rocks post office." So I went down there, and they said, "Okay," and they wrote it on a piece of paper, pick up on my mailbox. And since then, everybody on the north side of the street decided, hey, George can do it. They have mailboxes.
I think everyone should be entitled to have their own mailbox on their own street and not on city property. I can't imagine this being that much greater for the mailman.
Well, it's not like that anywhere else.
It's not, but
Or
there's
not everywhere
certain
else.
pockets, because when I was at,
Was 25th the same?
25th also, they didn't have any mailboxes on the property itself. I was talking to one of the neighbors, and she's like, well, their mailbox is on my corner over here. My mailbox has to be on that corner over there. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was looking and I'm like, okay, I guess that might save the mailman an extra step on being on both sides of land, but it's not consistent. So I don't know, but that lady who came across the street, she was like, it's been 20 years like this, and she sounded like not thrilled about having
Where was
to
she?
post-
Has she ever asked?
Which
to
house?
have it moved?
I don't know if she's ever asked or not, but I don't understand why it's on city ground property and why I mean, he's got to fix not her, but the guy across the street, he's got to fix his mailbox. You can't just have it on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
It just broke off, but he's like, it's been there for some time.
Yeah.
Anyhow, something to look into. I'm sure they would all appreciate having their mailboxes not on city property too.
Well, I mean, we could take care of possibly getting it off of our park,
Yeah, and putting it,
but I mean, everybody else is counting on them.
yeah, well, it's not.
Maybe they don't know that all they have to do is call the post office and say, hey, I would like to move my mailbox to my side of the street on my own property. Is that possible? And then they just have to replace
Maybe if
it.
they just move their
Move
mailbox,
their
they would
mailbox.
just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know who just put, who was like, I'm gonna, like on city property, I've never, I guess the city did that for them at some point. Someone had to have done that on their, it just doesn't, anyway. For 25th and 20th Street, they have these monuments because that, was dedicated. But they're rusted, it's kind of seen better days. I don't know if there's gotta be some kind of a solution out there to like,
So,
to buff it up
Yeah.
a little bit and to get that
We did something like
rust
that on Marina.
that's coming off. And just, they're both, these are two separate ones, but they're both doing the exact same thing. So the sidewalks definitely need a good pressure wash around them. But staying on 20th Street, what else we got here? Oh, the palm trees. So here's the pressure washing that could be done. It's pretty black. I don't think that would take too much. But there's palm trees that have seen better days.
Do they have access to electricity, or would they have to get a power washer that has like a generator?
You'd have to get a generator out there, and then we also got to get a source of water. Sometimes when neighbors want things pressure washed, they offer their water to us. We could probably tap into the reclaim. There used to be fresh water at every park, but now we don't. We'd have to build off of the reclaim water and then use that to pressure wash with.
What's wrong with the
Palm trees,
palm tree?
they're really old, really tall. I think it just would look nice if they were refreshing. You know, a lot of trees like maples, oaks, everything, they just look better with age. But palm trees definitely are not part of that group, I don't think. But this one in particular by the power line here, you can see right there, it kind of frays off and I took a close up. That looks like it's doing
Gonna
something
fall.
it shouldn't. Like, I think it's gonna eventually, I think you have plenty of time. These things are like rubber sometimes with hurricanes and they seem to withstand it. But that looks like it's pretty diseased and I'm guessing it's gonna have to come down sooner than later. It's just really close to the power line, so I figured I'd highlight that one.
That way, I mean, we do have to get that one trimmed.
And I'm guessing it's not, yeah, with a
We have
cherry
a-
picker, that's
A
not,
contractor do that one because it's so close to the wire.
it's close to the wire. Maybe we want to just remove it.
It would be something, yeah.
Rather
Yeah,
than
just a-
maintaining,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I hate to be the Lorax here, but.
No, it's,
I think it would look nicer.
The other palm trees won't grow much taller. That species of palm tree will grow up to 90 feet.
that's the Washingtonian.
That's the Washingtonian.
Do you see that one on 20th that one used to be short? It's really growing fast. The one that's it's closer to the water. I don't know if she's got a picture of it. It's kind of right near that.
Sure, I know. I was into it.
And there's also a cedar
It's
tree.
just sprouting really fast.
This also has a kayak little drop. It's got a little lift bar. That, I took a little video of it. When you lift it up, the whole thing shakes right to left. And so.
Yeah, I saw your
see
video.
That it's cracked.
Yeah,
So whenever
and we have
it's-
some replaced. I think we got the right color.
I think like something that kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
to put some replacement.
Yeah, and same with the other one at 20th.
Plastic
This
lumber.
one's much,
Yeah, I
looks
saw
like it's
it.
gonna bend off pretty soon.
That was a good find.
And then the other one looks like it's already on its way. You know, it's just from use, going up and down. And
Yeah.
then if you put pressure on it, I mean, anyone could break it. You know,
About
and
halfway
want to.
down the path,
Right.
there's a cedar tree, which is an ugly tree.
Uh-huh.
I think we should get rid of that.
Which one?
The cedar tree.
Where?
But on the
20th.
south side of the path at 20th Street, as you go down, you'll see a cedar tree there, and it's really an ugly tree that I guess the guys have tried to trim it up to make it look really decent. Yeah, that's a cedar tree. It's not a palm
You
tree.
know, I didn't mind them as much as they minded the older palm trees that are really up and high.
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind, like, I paid $4,000 once to have a tree removed.
Oh, there it
So
is.
it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So unless it's a danger or, you know, like the power line situation, but if it's just, or, you know, it's dead and it's gonna fall anyway and you have to take it out for liability reasons, just because it's ugly or you don't like it, maybe whoever planted it liked it, but they're so expensive to have taken out.
Those Washingtonians, though, you can get out for like $300, and then you use a stump grinder for like $2. And if you do it as a group, it would be a lot less. But it's a hassle. That one just happens to show, and
Yeah, the one that looks like it's got
here's
like
kind of the
damage
two
to it.
pictures. Here's 25th. These are a little younger, and they look just kind of nice. I know it's hard to tell from there. And then these ones, I think, are getting pretty tall. But that one was the one that looked kind of bad, and it was kind of in this corner. You can't even see them all.
I don't know. Are these Washingtonians or those Sables?
Which,
It
which
looks
The
like
ones-
a Washingtonian here.
the real tall ones are Washingtonian, the other ones are Satan.
Like
Yeah.
green palms are.
Like, you know, the ones that got the accesses, they're like real tall. They're like 35 foot.
Yeah, I've seen them in the wind
like
too. They're
California
like,
stuff.
I was
I
like,
haven't
how
really
the
looked at
heck
it.
does that withstand
If
it?
you look at the branch, you'll be able to tell right away whether it's
Yeah,
a
because it's
Washington-
either got the center, like the Sables have the
Yeah, but the
pronounced
Washingtonians have
goes
to
through, and
sort
then you
of-
got the thorns on the Washingtonians.
So it's really easy to tell.
Mhm.
And
I
then
don't know
along
what
the seawall, are you doing anything on that seawall there? I couldn't remember.
No,
No, okay. So there is something that I think you might want to look at. There is anything like soft in the ground in front of it, but, so, this close-up right here is from this corner.
Okay.
It
This one.
just looks pretty.
Is that its own
That
picture?
is
Yeah,
correct.
it's its own picture.
Is that the corner of the seawall?
It's the corner of the seawall. It just looked like it was I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
I
in the
know
best
nothing
shape.
about seawalls, but it was just this corner here. They all have like cracks and this and that. That one just seemed to have more of a significant full
Mhm.
line going up and down. But again, I think they're not about seawalls. So that was that. 25th, the no parking sign. Neighbor actually has been driving her nuts. That is cricket. She's like, can you guys just straighten that out while you're doing this? And it is. It's a little lopsided. She also begged to have these, there's like wood pillars right here. And they are dark green, black. And she's like, you could just pressure, I'm like, you can pressure wash wood like that? And she showed me hers. And she goes, oh yeah,
What are they for?
decoration.
Okay, so do that
So
with the
it's
sidewalks.
3 pillars tied by like a sailor's. You know,
Oh,
what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
gotcha.
just set in the concept.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's 3 of them right there.
Are they like different heights and then you've got?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's
Okay,
a step,
gotcha.
there's a step, and there's a third one behind it. You can't see the third one here. They're just flanking kind of the sidewalk there. She's like, it desperately needs a power wash, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna put in a request for
I think
that.
that neighbor used to be on the Parks and Rec board.
Sure was.
Yeah.
How'd you know a neighbor?
And she might donate her water and her electricity.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She was
That's
so,
perfect.
I begged her to come back, and she's like, no, ma'am. She's like, I did my time. She was actually at the yacht. She used to maintain with her husband, not what the yacht, the
Marina?
marina, thank you.
The Bellard Beach Marina?
She was like for 15 years, her and her husband maintained it. And it's like, well, look at you now, come on back. I'm like, Wednesday, she's like, because I did my time. At this park on the 25th. Now, it's hard to tell, but this neighbor, I'm thinking is planting here. I don't think you guys are doing this.
No.
It's
There's
growing.
papayas, there's all sorts of interesting things that are really growing up past his property line into ours, and I'm guessing you guys are having to maintain this
Yeah.
jungle here. Something to look into if you guys want to, if you're, but one side, you can see
I think
Is
when
that
it
the
gets
Norfolk
bad
here?
enough, it gets cut.
that's on his property, the Norfolks, but
Mhm.
behind it, he's been putting little pots and everything, and papayas and vines
I'll
and
have to check on
elevators
the
and
property line.
all sorts of great stuff.
Okay.
It gets a little jungly, and then this one has all these little borders. They're all cracked and broken. I still think they look nice. I still think they're fine. I wouldn't remove them. I think it's a lot more work than it is.
Yeah, there's been a,
But
talk
they're
of
starting to
possibly
have
trying-
pieces now.
yeah,
They don't bother me though, to be honest, but I can see how somebody else. I thought
they all like loose and they move
They
around.
get loose, and it's just over time they break up. I still think it's nice. Bayside Park and City Hall. For Bayside Park, all of these signs, I love these little signs, but they're no longer of service. You can't read anything really on them, they're getting old. It just talks about sandpipers, mangroves, manatees.
But you can't read them.
You can't read them. Water has gone underneath the plastic and compromised underneath all of it.
Mhm, they're nice.
It'd be nice either to remove them or replenish them. This little bridge access that goes down to the water, that's right there, yep, is soft and gives. And I'm guessing needs a full replacement of some sort, or it's really soft. It's gonna,
Um,
when you go on the boards,
So if 10 people walked on it, do you think it would collapse?
I don't know if it's going to collapse right now. I just know someone's gonna have a foot going through there at some point. That wood is gonna rot just from the weather outside. And
okay.
the
Well, we
fact
could
that
probably
it's
replace.
bending,
Yeah.
I think if you want it forever, you go with that like composite wood, that
Mm.
plastic.
What is the bridge over?
The bridge goes
Just to
over
get
from
into the-
this.
No, I
Wednesdays,
mean, what's underneath the bridge? What is it?
Oh.
mangroves. Here, I'll show you.
Rocks.
I thought it was
See
pretty,
these roots? That's at the landing of it. So while I'm sure that this is protected of some sort, I don't think the dead ones are. So maybe
Just clear it a little bit.
I
when we're
would
in there.
think just that little area, that's the only place that most people go, because you can't really walk any further. You kind of get either to the bridge here, you get stuck, or you get to like a lot of the what are they, the sea grape, is that what it is? Well, I don't know what kind of bush that's growing with the big leaves.
Big
like
leaves.
Yeah, that'd be a secret.
sea grapes,
Yeah.
those are really, you know, and
Those
I don't think
things
we
grow
should trim
fast.
that back. I think we should just clear off maybe these roots a little bit. It kind of would be nice. I think people can put their
But
cows down on
that
it.
bridge goes,
That bridge,
what is it, bridge from dry ground to,
Yeah, like grass to the beach, and it goes kind of
I
over.
mean, could the bridge be shortened up, I guess is what I'm thinking, and you just have this simple walkway over the rocks and eliminate most of the bridge?
That's an idea.
yeah, this is just kind of a little beach area there.
If it's gonna
You
fail
can't-
all the way.
High water, you can't really put your towels down and things like that, and these are dead. So it wouldn't be really, I don't think, compromising. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
like-
that can be. They're gonna go back there shortly to do the
But
trimming.
there, I felt them, they're stuck in there, you
Oh.
know, they pull them. The bike rack is kind of old. It just wobbles and
Yeah.
stuff. It could be replaced if we're looking into other bike racks. Otherwise, it's still functional. Playground,
Mhm.
it's got duct tape at the
That's
bottom
a-
of it.
That's a question of if we're even gonna replace
Even
this
going
thing.
to
This thing's
replace-
outdated. It's either gonna go away
Yeah.
or they're gonna pay for a new one.
Yeah, I just pointed it out since I was there.
Mhm.
I don't see a ton of children playing out there. There's a ton of ants everywhere. Like, I mean, mass amounts of them. You couldn't, like, I sat down for a second and I was like, ooh.
See fans?
Ants.
Oh, ants.
Lots and lots of ants.
Okay.
Just around that?
Fire ants?
Just,
Or just
I didn't see the fire ants, no.
Regular ants.
But there was regular ants, they were kind of big.
And you weren't even
Yeah.
having a
They were looking
picnic.
nice. Huh?
And you weren't even having a picnic.
I wasn't even eating, but I could tell
Oh,
that
God.
if I had my kid there or toddler there, it would just be like, you know,
You'd run.
yeah, I just probably would hang out.
If you take it out, what would be done with the space?
maybe consolidate it more to what existing useful playground equipment's left. There's still climbers and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't have any ideas right now on what you really want to put there, but I
I'm
think
just
that's
curious.
like.
It
A
is.
lot.
Seen better
The
days.
trees are excessive in that whole area too.
How you see
And the story I got was that they planted trees that had to be moved. I think they were in the accesses originally, and they were told to not have them there. So then they stuck them all over in Bayside. That's why there's so many oaks. Um,
But they just need to be trimmed back, don't they?
Yeah, it's just like, that's one thing you deal with because you have so much shade and leaves in there, so you get a lot of moisture and mildew. All the grass
It's
dies.
a nice canopy, though.
It's a good canopy. It's probably a little excessive as
So
far
if
as,
they
yeah.
trim it all back, and keep the canopy in.
And they do trim them.
Yeah.
They do.
I don't know why I don't see this here, but I definitely wanted, there's a giant dumpster.
Oh, we're still using that.
What are you using that for?
That's to finish up our mango trim.
Oh, it's
So
there
once
for a
they
reason,
trim-
it's not forgotten
Yeah.
about. Is this permit?
No, that I'm surprised it's still.
That's
I'll rip
okay.
that out. I should
It
have
looked
ripped
old
that
to
all
me,
out.
and I was like, I'm not touching
Yeah.
it. Maybe it has
No.
something to do with the
No.
dumpster. And then we just did the tennis
That needs
courts,
to go away.
and the tennis courts are beautiful, but why didn't they just why?
Oh, on the edge?
All the border is just like cracked and patched
They didn't-
and
They just resurfaced the play area to the fence.
okay.
But
So
it's
that was
already
not
cracked.
forgotten by them. Was not paid for.
Yeah,
Part
and
of
the story
project
behind the
all of that.
cracks is those cracks are foundational cracks. No amount of resurfacing
Uh-huh.
or filling, they're gonna keep forming until we redo the whole
Yeah, they're just.
asphalt. And that's a
Little
bigger, a
patch
lot
marks.
bigger
Okay.
job. So I talked to, the tennis contractors and they can fill them again, it'll look ugly, on the fresh painted surface. So if they, because they filled them when they did resurface, but it doesn't take long for them to come right back, just because they're cracked all the way through the asphalt. And the asphalt's only an inch. Now they typically do thicker asphalt for courts. At the time, then we did an inch layer of asphalt, so that's why it goes all the way down to the ground. Something in the long term that needs to be budgeted for, but since, as long as these cracks aren't a safety issue,
No,
Well, sure,
it looked like an
not.
aesthetic issue. The
it's an
court
aesthetic
looks
issue.
really nice.
You might as well get what you can out of the last resurface, and then we really, the next time we're gonna do something, I mean, but it's a bigger savings, so it's a lot more to redo all that asphalt.
Yeah, no, I just thought it
It's-
was painted or something, but,
Yeah.
water fountain out there.
Yeah.
Can we repaint
Yeah.
that?
That's
Or
a-
replace it? I like
It just breaks down. It's about 4 years old now.
4-0?
No, just 4.
That's 4 years.
It's just
old.
from the salt. Yeah, it breaks down quick.
That water fountain.
Yeah, I have an actual backup too.
No, that can't be.
That's right. So you should have saw the last one that we replaced it. It almost was breaking in half from just
There's
rust.
a water fountain out there?
Yeah.
Is it rusty? I didn't even know there was a
It's
water
it's breaking down, but it's not like the one that got replaced. It was you could probably kicked it and broke it because it was just
fountain.
rusted
Where
through.
is it?
It's really rusted.
Yeah,
I thought I
it-
did a picture of it.
It rusts quick. It started rusting.
Like that's the bottom of it.
Yeah, it just
And
needs
then
to be
that's the rim of it.
scraped and painted. And
That looks new.
believe it or not, though, I actually
Can you like
Because-
squish it down so I can see where it is?
It's by the tennis courts. Between the tennis courts and the dumpster or Bayside.
Oh, you gotta walk through there.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I didn't see. it.
yeah, it's like
Thank
everything
you.
here, but it breaks down quickly. That was like about $1,000 water fountain. Something in the future if we replace it again, we could go with the stainless option. It would hold up better like the beach showers. It would still, fade and stuff like that, but it wouldn't rust as fast. I actually have, because they sent that one and it had some kind of damage with it. I can't remember what it was, that they sent me a whole other one. So I actually have a brand new exact
Nice.
fountain that I was just gonna eventually use once that one got to the point it couldn't be used anymore.
It worked, and the inside looked nice, which was always key. I think that's what we care about most.
Yeah.
Unlike the.
But yeah,
addition.
it's like the grills too. We periodically go through and like scrape them down and paint them and just try to keep them looking decent
Sure.
until they break down all the way through.
And then last thing, that's broken.
Yeah, we can
No,
try to
that's
do
a
some
big
new
deal.
ones of those.
It's just a cigarette
Those are
butt thing,
about
but I
3
was
years.
like, if that pours out, that'll be that. That's it. Major thing I think is that bridge, and I think that will give at some point with enough pressure on by one thing. Just
Do you,
kind of.
do you think it's bad enough that it should be blocked off like a caution tape at this point?
I don't know if it's at that point. I didn't try
Well, it's
jumping
all
on
up.
it or anything. It just, I could feel it.
But if we have a wedding here and you know what I mean, like half the wedding party goes out to like walk down there, that's all I'm asking. Because we do have large groups of people here a lot that aren't familiar with the area or might want to see it because
Mhm.
they're only here for the weekend or something.
Right. We actually had a lot of people here last weekend.
Yeah, so I was just curious if like,
Yeah.
you had a big group go out there and all go out at the same time, if it could hold the weight or if it
I
needs to
didn't
be.
test it on like it's how.
It'd be interesting to see if there's a way to not even need it.
Just
So,
You know, if
put
it
all
gets to that
together.
point. Well,
I'm thinking at one time.
because it's not cheap to replace those, especially with the.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just put some support boards underneath.
Yeah, we can look at that too.
And that would be way less expensive than replacing.
That's kind of what we were doing before we replaced the overwalks at the accesses on the beach. We were just
I
keeping them alive.
kind of with you. I don't think it's necessary to be there. I think it just kind of streamlined people for an access point so they wouldn't just walk through the other.
Yeah, you just want to keep
greenery.
the access.
Maybe
I think at
There.
one time the mangroves were all up in there and there was a way to get through them.
Mhm.
Oh, that makes sense, because I think what they
Now
did-
we,
Some rocks on the
cut back
side.
in the
Maybe
mangroves, we
that's
don't
why.
need it.
Yeah, the mangroves. Yeah, it's got riprap and stuff on the side.
like maybe that's why they did it, is so that people wouldn't.
The mangroves, though, I think he's right. They opted at one point to clear almost a big section of mangroves, which kind of, in the end, made it hard to do anything with any of the other mangroves because of some kind of deal they made with the water and navigation. So we have some real large mangrove trees
Yeah.
to the south of that, but we can't do anything with that. So that
But
kind
that's what I'm sure that was for, and we don't need it all
Yeah.
now. All we just need is a way to get over those rocks.
right.
So it'll be a real short area rather than replacing the whole
Yeah,
thing.
open it up and just make sure it stays open that you can
Yeah.
access. Yeah, because I don't know, it's not cheap to do a whole boardwalk, and if it's not even
I
needed.
don't think it needs those, but then you gotta move all those rocks and kind of just make some sort of a
Oh yeah, we want a machine
pathway
over
that
it.
guides people through that instead of trying to walk around maybe. But I like that little area. I think a lot of people, I always see people utilizing it, sneaking their dogs out there sometimes, you
Yeah.
know, but
Mhm.
people go fish, people with little babies. Anytime I
There's-
go over the bridge, I always see someone with a toddler, you know, running
That was
or
in,
kayakers.
like to get reworked when we were looking at that grant, but there's still money for Bayside Park improvements. The idea recently has been to eventually get a gazebo out there.
Kyle, if we have a list from like everything that you guys have documented, and then like things that we notice that you like feel like you need to take to the next level and have them taken care of in order of priority, how do you decide what gets done and what doesn't? If you, like when you said we have funds to improve Bayside Park, how do you decide? Do they vote or do you guys internally decide based
Well,
on need?
it's discussed, like Lynn's has mentioned it, that, you know, his idea of putting a gazebo out there. Ultimately, they gotta approve it. So, I
Okay.
guess the idea is to accumulate the money, I mean, to obviously make any repairs we can that aren't major, you know, as soon as we know about them.
Where? The gazebo, where?
On the helicopter pad,
Oh, on the helicopter.
Oh, really?
yeah.
You could do it where the playground is.
Yeah, we talked about,
If you take out some of the playground equipment that has duct tape, that would like,
Be a beautiful spot for it.
yeah, because you know, the people set up their weddings on the helicopter pad. If you put a gazebo
yeah, but it
there,
was
that
like
puts that up.
to go with the weddings.
Like
It was-
off
so
to
I
the
guess it
side.
would have been the stage for the wedding, and then
Oh.
then it also been talked about doing like sort of like an amphitheater style seating ledges on the hill.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm.
It's
Like
like
concrete
something-
steps.
Yeah, but that would be kind of like have to be designed, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, but that's kind of that's the idea that Lynn, the vision he's talked about.
Gotcha.
I was going over the bridge too. Whose is that? It's like a sailboat type of sculpture. It's like orange.
I think
That
it's
was
the
the
county's
garden.
road. I don't know the full
It's
story.
right
about
out
it.
here.
Didn't the
I know what
garden
you're
club
talking about.
donate that?
Did you?
Wasn't that donated by the garden club?
Was it Garden Club? It
I
could
thought.
have been.
I don't know.
That
I
could
don't
use a
know.
little spruce me up. Just.
What do you?
And that would be,
I would imagine so. That orange was once vibrant, I would imagine, and now it's
Yeah,
kind of
you
a
know.
browned orange.
I've never seen it look good.
You've never seen it look good?
No, 'cause I've
Oh.
only been there just coming up on 4 years. It's
Oh,
always kind of-
gotcha. I was like, maybe that was.
We should see if someone has a picture of when it was first
I'm
installed.
sure it was nice when I was
I don't know what it's called, but it looked probably like it was once nice. Now it's kind of just a rusted.
All right. Last but not least, I have 5 parks. So
Okay.
Try to be brief.
And everything was perfect, right?
No,
Oh.
but they were okay. Okay, so the first park that I surveyed, I did South Park, 2nd Street, 16th Street, Belle Isle Park, and Hibiscus Park East. So it was good because there was a couple that I had never been to before, and so it was a good to have eyes on. But so I started in South Park, and number one thing that I noted was the fences on both sides are new and are in really good shape. They're very well maintained, so that was great. The seawall is in really good shape other than the south corner that is part of Indian Rocks Beach property line. That part gets kind of cut off. So literally it's like you know how they're blocked off in sections? There's literally a line in the sand, and it's just so, I don't know if that's something that we can maybe, if they inspect it, or if they even pay any attention to it. I'm not sure.
I think they stopped on the Indian Rocks Beach right-of-way line with that seawall.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the part that belongs to them,
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, that is gonna deteriorate and bring down the rest of it.
Yeah, no, I know, it's the whole.
So
structure.
it's just, I don't know where you take that, if you maybe call them and say, hey, can you guys take a look at this and make sure it's safe?
Yeah, I wanna, check with Lynn, because I'm sure they discussed, what they were doing. So I don't know what's in their plans to fix that.
Okay. And then another one of the things that I noticed is, so it's kind of like at one point there were some like shells like decorative around the trees, but they all look like it's
Needs
years
more
and years
shell.
old. It needs more
We
shells.
probably haven't done shell in 2 years, just need to get a whole bunch more shell.
Yeah, it's like for the most part, all the parks that I looked at need to be, they either had nothing or they had something at one point and it's mostly gone. So the utility caps in this park was really good, but it looks like one of them had just been replaced and it had been run over previously by a lawnmower or something, and there was like 30 pieces of purple plastic that had been just, so it's like that was a mess that probably someone should have cleaned up when they replaced the cap that got run over by the lawnmower.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
So like if you blow that picture up, you can see all the little purple pieces here, but all 3 of these caps are in really good shape.
Okay.
So that was just something that I thought, if like a dog steps on that or a little
No,
kid,
yeah,
it
I'll
might be
ask
great.
about that.
So the bench is in good shape. That's really all that's in this park. Because this is on the south end and there's public parking and street parking available, in my opinion, this park could really use like some security cameras or some lights, like
Which part is this?
South Park, the one right at the very end of the city. So on that bench, there's constantly like people smoking pot. There's constantly
Across the street from Brown
alcohol.
Park?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, across the street from Brown Park, so that's public parking because it's in New York
Everyone
Beach.
parks there.
And walks
Everyone
across the
walks
street.
there.
And Nicole pointed out to me, and I took a picture of the nice, young, lovely used condom where people go to that park and do whatever they want. And so I don't think we have that in any of the other parks. And then like maybe a month
Bayside.
Bayside, is that okay? Like a month ago, I know they do it on the beach, but like a month ago, somebody stole all the caps off the sprinklers in the same park.
Yes, that was very weird.
So even if we don't install a camera, just put up a sign or a light, like a solar light that doesn't need electricity, where
Yeah.
it's obviously going to get a lot of sun. Those are
As long
inexpensive.
as, the neighbors are on board with it, we don't, because people get sensitive about lights, street lights.
Well, one's like Carly over
Some
there,
like 'em,
and the
some
other one
don't.
has a big fence now.
Yeah,
so.
well, the one in Indian Rocks Beach, like she said, they're in Ireland 8 months out of 12, and the other people complain about this all the time, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind some solar lights. Like, so when it's pitch dark back there, that you cannot see your hand in front of your face unless there's a full moon. So it's just a thought that it might detour some of this, because Bayside,
You're across the street, right, Nicole?
yeah,
Oh yeah, my
So it would just be
grass
really
is
the
used as the
neighbor.
parking lot. Yeah.
It would just be the neighbors to the north, really between you and the park.
that's the Pothoffs, and they're the ones that complain about it more than anything,
So
because they
they're
can hear
good.
it and smell it, and so
I
they're
guess you
like,
could put
Are you
Yeah.
allowed to smoke on, at these places, these parks?
Yeah,
You're allowed to smoke.
you can still smoke.
Well, I didn't know if at, like a lot of time public parks, you cannot smoke.
yeah,
In certain
children at
cities.
play, no smoking.
So I don't know if,
Yeah,
so
but-
different cities have different rules, I didn't know. I get you can smoke outside, but can you smoke at a public park? Some of them allow, some of them don't. I don't know what your guys' rules are.
You
I
don't
know
have no smoking on
I
our
watch-
signs.
a couple every single morning, and it doesn't bother me because I don't live there. But right between Debbie and the Gray House that just sold, they go down, what is that, 2nd Street? And they have their morning, they're in their pajamas, their robes, their morning coffee.
And cigarettes.
their morning cigarettes. And I can, I know if I was either one of those, whichever way the wind was blowing, and it's 5:30 in the morning,
I'd be fuming,
that's what I'd
yeah.
be waking up to.
There's a
And
sign.
I was like, you know,
They moved the bench though.
I guess
Oh,
it would
she's
have
talking
to-
about Second
it would have
Oh
to
Street.
yeah,
change.
no, I know
We're
that,
still on
but
South
It would
Park.
have to
but on the
change
South
the-
Park they moved the bench
in the code,
closer
you
to
know.
the Ireland people. Did
That
we
might
get
be
we asked to
Something
do
that could be
that?
done.
That's a good idea.
a helpful solution, so we moved the park closes at dusk, right? And
Yeah.
then no smoking on top of it.
I think that's.
I get it, people do whatever they
The
want at
hours
midnight.
are, the hours are said that can be determined, like, that wasn't a big one, but I think we'd have to get the council to change.
We already changed the hours there.
I know, that's not.
He's talking about the
Oh,
We're
smoking.
talking about smoking, that
Smoking.
would be an actual, have to be changed as an ordinance.
That would be nice.
It would
No,
be
it's
nice.
something to consider.
Yeah, especially, I mean, some people are like, if you live right there, and like you said with the wind, it would be bad. But like, I
I
think
mean-
some solar lights would be great, just to light this up a little bit, because if there was a little light, it might detour them. Bayside, no one lives around here, so it's like, it's more like, I don't know, I
Free
think
for all.
less eyes
Yeah.
on you. But like for South Park, I think it's just because there's public access and it's so dark that they
Yeah.
feel pretty safe. So,
Yeah, and I think I don't know if you have the phone number for your neighbor,
yeah,
I can ask them,
yeah.
you know? Cause that's what I'm saying, she's across the street and then they're the ones right there,
Yeah,
And the other
What are the
house?
hours now on that park?
to 9. So it's. was it
6 to 9.
6 to 9. It used to be 11, but it was just very, very late and causing issues.
Well, the
Why don't
Ireland
we just
people
cut the
don't
hours
live on that
back?
side.
we did.
Because that's not really even the problem. People do what they want to do at midnight, you know, when they're out on the golf carts drinking or whatever they're doing. So I think Jeremy's just trying to put a little light on there so it'd be more obvious, because there are police officers out.
I'm trying to
right
stomp their
there.
buzz, George.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally stomp their buzz. So I'll ask Patty and Mike like what they think, and maybe if you want to call them and talk to them after I do, she wouldn't mind.
Yeah, if you just could,
Okay, yeah, that's
what
I
their
don't
thoughts
think
are,
that,
because I
like,
don't think a
someone's
solar light's that crazy.
Fishing there
just
until
for
like
great
9
schools.
p.m. I don't think anyone cares, or it's a problem, you know? I don't know, if just coming back the hours.
Well, the only thing that Patty said, well, they put up something, but like the people fishing there would literally lean over into their fence and feed their dogs bait fish. I would be
Ew.
fuming if someone did that to my
That's
dog.
Because I saw she raised her fence, but she can't
Yeah.
as you get closer.
And they
Yeah.
still lean over the fence and try to feed her dogs or talk to her dogs or whatever, and it's just like so
I know,
invasive.
it comes.
Anyway, so solar lights, I'll ask Patty, and the smoking thing. But like, here's just like, there's nothing. And like, there's sprinklers in this park, but the grass is completely dead. So I don't know, like, some of the parks that I surveyed, the grass was beautiful. So it's like their sprinklers work and these sprinklers don't, or these sprinklers aren't coming on. But the grass was, not in good shape.
Not in good shape, needs more water.
No, and then here is, see that whole section
Hmm.
in that corner is just cracked off. Like you could literally, there's a huge part
That's
of
in
it
Iran side.
that's missing, yes. And that's the south end, that's just the south corner only. From that line north, it's in good shape.
Right, because it was done when the project.
Yeah. And then I noticed too, and I don't know if we do this for environmental reasons, but like even in the areas where there was a decent amount of shell coverage, there's tons and tons of weeds. So I don't know if they spray the weed killer or if I don't know.
It can only have weed killer so close to
The water.
the water.
Okay, yeah, I figured it might be something like that, so it just needs to be more shells. But that was really all for
Yeah,
South Park.
typically they weed whack it if they can, and then it would be more shell to just
On top of
keep the
it.
weeds down.
Yeah, because I can see if you weed whack, the shells are flying everywhere.
Yeah,
And then it's like-
it's tricky to keep.
It's
up.
tricky, yeah. Okay, so that's really all I had for South Park.
I don't think we resolved this South Park problem, have we?
What's
I
the
mean-
problem? Oh, the people?
Yeah.
Say
Oh,
that again?
they'll never be, because they could park there, and then there's people out there
They
11.
park there and just walk into the park?
Walk
Across the street.
across, yeah. And then if they get kicked out of the park next to like Patty and Mike's house, they'll just go across the street and make more noise. So
Yeah, and
What about fencing? Could a fence be put up?
no, there's like what do you mean, like to shut the gate? Like
Yeah. Gated off at a certain time so they can't get there. I
I'm
mean,
not sure.
ultimately, that's what we want, right?
Yeah, well, and this is the other thing, to Nora's point, across the street where there's public parking at Brown Park, it literally says everywhere, no smoking, healthy lungs at play. So they'll walk right across the street and do it in Bel Air Beach. Well, and plus they want to be on the water, but if they're smoking, they can't smoke across the street. And so, you know, that park is lit, where they can go across the street, it's dark, they can do what they want, and there's nothing, so I
And
mean,
you
I
can't
don't.
bring your dog in there anymore, so now.
No, they changed it back.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Because it's still like, still get a ton of people like from Indian Rocks and their golf cart. That's why there's no grass.
Yeah, they're not supposed to have their golf carts in there.
Well,
They do, I know.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, so the fence would kind of
Kills
fix
the
that
grass, they
too,
sit
but.
there and-
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, but those were the highlights for that one. It's, overall, it's like, it's not a pretty park. Like it's minimal. Like the biggest thing that stuck out to me of the 5 parks that I surveyed is the vast difference in how these parks look. It's like some of them are like beautiful and lush and so well maintained, and then others look like the redheaded stepchild. Like, oh, we don't like this end of the street, or we don't like this park, or I don't know if it was donated. Like, but they're maintained to different levels, which I don't understand.
This one.
This one
it's like zero
versus,
frills
what's the other one you did?
Like Belle
Right.
Belle
Isle
Isle, you like
is
it like-
beautiful.
Piece of grass.
Hibiscus East is just, yeah. Anyway, I'll get to that one.
The little part.
I drove
mean,
past it
that's-
3 times before I found it.
Yeah, I mean, that is tiny.
It's
really
tiny,
like a
but there's no.
sliver.
I'll get to that
No,
one.
I know.
Okay, so the next park that I did was South Street, or I'm sorry, 2nd Street. And the first thing that I noticed, and I think I've done this before, like this cap, I mean, the hole is like a foot deep, and like I don't know what this is maintenance for, but if someone
It's
falls
the
in this, or a dog falls
valves.
in this,
It's the valves for the irrigation.
yeah, so it's.
So the cap does the cap go on it?
The cap was on it like this,
Could-
and so all I did was touch it like this, and
it
then.
popped it. Yeah,
and you
so
could-
it needs to be raised up.
It needs to be raised up because this is a definite, like, you know, someone's gonna twist their ankle or whatever. So the utility cap is loose.
Didn't we mess with this cap before?
Yeah.
Because someone,
Yeah.
didn't you tell me something about
I think it-
dog?
Oh, well, every time
They
it
did
looks like this, I
something.
take a picture and send it to you, but it never gets, like, fixed.
Okay.
Because a lot of the caps are like, you know, they're on there, they're sturdy, if you step on them, they're not going anywhere. This one is just like, it's almost like the cap is too small for the hole. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like,
Alright.
that's why it's so like,
Maybe we just put a bigger box over the whole thing. Instead of a little round one, we get it like
a square one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be better. The fences on both sides of this are in good shape and are well maintained. But the bushes in this park are really scruffy, tons of weeds. The shells are, you know, missing.
Mhm.
The grass is kind of like, you know, there's big patches of dead grass. So again, there's a sprinkler system, but I don't know what the settings are on because it's real patchy and
Okay.
dead. The sidewalk's in pretty good shape. The seawall's in good shape. The bench, and then I don't know if it just happened to be the day that I was surveying, but I'm in this park quite a bit. Like the last time we did this, we added the signs that says, please be
Mhm.
considerate and clean up your fish mess. And they were really clean. It was in good shape. So I don't know if it's, you know, I'm sure randomly it's not in good shape, but like the day I surveyed it, hopefully those signs are helping.
They must be helping.
Yeah, so it was good.
A lot of people come during the summer.
I'm sure
Warmer weather.
they recently pressure washed
It's
this sidewalk. This is one of the ones where the guy across the street lets us use his water.
Oh yeah, the sidewalks look at this
Yeah.
sidewalk compared to, well, you see this because it's
So
by your
they
house.
might have pressure washed the whole dock too at the time.
Oh yeah, so the dock looked like it, and then, yeah, so overall, other than just a little TLC, this park is in good shape. The next park that I did is 16th Street. This park, the grass looks great. So it's like there was no big brown patches. but there is zero landscaping. There's quite a few trees, and it's not like it just needs something. There's nothing there. So I don't know if was done for a reason, but it could use a little
Yeah, I don't know the story behind.
landscaping around the trees. And I don't know what this utility pole is. I don't know if like someone hit it.
That's
It's
because they're doing work over there.
It's completely.
And it was, their utilities run through that part of the right of way. So like their sewer and everything, they had to dig it up and we had to get them to replace the grass. So that's like their laterals for utilities. And I don't know what.
Why is it like?
We can find out what this is. They put something in, they undergrounded something, conduit, and they just left it, and I don't know what it's supposed to be for.
So that needs to be corrected.
That's part of their, whatever they're doing.
Okay.
They just haven't finished it.
You're talking about the neighbors.
That's, the house next door.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're running, if that's for communication or what.
The pink
Yeah.
house?
I don't think it's pink.
What happened?
To the north,
north?
yeah.
It's good. Are we talking about 16th Street?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see their construction in the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just because I didn't know if like someone hit it with a car, you know what I mean? Like
No, that was put in. So
it was put in sideways like
they
that.
Yeah, well, they put the conduit, undergrounded it, and they left a piece out because they can locate it and feed it through
Oh.
whatever they're doing. And
Okay,
they'll put it
gotcha.
under with a box or something like that.
So like, here around the garbage can, again, there's no like shells or anything, but like it's all dead around it. It looks kind of, I think.
So it'd be nice if it was shells.
It would be nice, yeah, if they
Give it a
would
little
put at
text
least
back
there, yeah. And like here, like the shells look good, like along the seawall, and they're not real weedy, so that's good. And they have a nice little sign that says "Pick up after your dog," which.
And they put a lot of effort because that's the seawall that's got a lot of washout. So
Underneath.
yeah, that it's constantly there's so much in there like material and things to just try and keep it from washing through that seawall because that's one of the ones we're replacing.
Oh, see, but if you visually look at it, it looks good. Like there's no cracks.
Mhm.
Like it looks decent,
It's-
but it's.
if with the tides down, take a look at the actual wall.
Oh,
It's
yes,
pretty
yeah.
bad. There's a lot
Oh, okay.
of material coming
That's
out
the
of
one
it.
I did last year, and that's one that had the little sinkholes in front of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's
So they
the-
put a lot of effort into keeping those sinkholes from
Yeah.
forming just to keep it level. not
And that's like
hazard.
if the tide's
Just like
lower.
little divots behind the seawall, like
Oh,
in the front of
okay.
it, because that's where I was
'Cause
like, what is
it's
this?
really
And
washing
I Googled
through.
it, I'm like, ooh, that's not good.
And then it's been in bad shape on the north end. It's broken off.
Gotcha. But the dock looked decent. Like I didn't really see anything
Yeah.
going on with that, so.
That's one of those docks that used to have the
Kayak
step.
launch.
Yeah, and it broke.
And it broke, gotcha.
Yeah. That's like the major neighborhood complaint there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I wasn't really, because, obviously Second Street too, people have asked multiple times for a kayak launch. You know what I mean? I could bring that up 100 times until it gets on the pecking order.
Yeah, I mean,
It kind of is what it is. So the next one that I did was Belle Isle, which this park is beautiful. So I don't know, like if it does look like there were some things in it that were donated because they have 2 benches and on one of them it's like dedicated to somebody. But the grass is beautiful, the landscaping is beautiful, like all the bushes and like all of the landscaping along both fences from either property line, all in really good shape. The seawall looks decent. I don't know, overall, like, I'm pretty sure I've been to most of the parks. This one's by far the prettiest. But like, even this one could use some shell. I know you don't want to do weed cleaner, but this one too could use some.
that one could get sprayed because
It's far enough away, yeah.
It's just going.
And like this, like I'm sure at some point there were shells around the garbage can that are all gone. But when you like look at it overall, like, like I said, the bushes, everything is just really pretty. And then, like I said, somebody must have donated a second bench or did something because there was a little plaque. And it's really the only plaque I've seen on any of the benches here. So it's
We got a new bench coming
for.
that was donated. It's gonna go at Morgan.
Oh, nice.
I guess the woman's parents lived here for a long time and they recently passed. And she took some of their money and wanted to donate a bench and put it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she just wanted it near the beach, so we picked Morgan.
Perfect.
So it's gonna be like the benches out here. Those ones they hold up really well. They got that plastic coating around the outside of them, the gray ones
The ones that say Bel Air
that the
Beach?
garden club donated.
Yeah,
Yeah, they say Bel Air Beach, the custom ones, but those hold up pretty well.
yeah. Oh, nice.
Because that one down at Crossing is very old compared to these, and they're not that far off.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference. Oh, that's good. Both neighbors on both sides of this park do a good job maintaining their fences, so that's good. And then the last one that I did was Hibiscus Park East. Like I said, I drove past it. It kind of looks like an empty lot, like I didn't know it was a park. It took me a minute, and then I saw the sign, and I was like, oh.
It's a mini park.
There is no sidewalk in this one at all. The bench, the garbage can, the utility caps are in good shape. One side of the fence is in great shape. The other side is really overgrown and where, you know, it's
And the fence is
rotted
yeah.
and like it's coming through and everything's dead. But I'm pretty sure it looked exactly that way the last time we did this.
I'm gonna check with Steve because I've told code enforcement about that.
Because that's the side.
Yeah, no, I know what
Okay.
you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, landscaping, the grass, all that looks good. The only thing I noticed on this one is the seawall. Or is this seawall getting replaced or no? Probably not.
No, it's Nora had that park last year.
I remember. It looks the same, Nora.
It's got a crack. But the engineer looked at it at the time and thought it needs to be replaced, but we had some lifetime in it. It wasn't failing.
Gotcha.
It's not aesthetically, it's got a little crack on it.
Yeah, it's got
dingy.
like two cracks, like
Yeah.
kind of going down the middle.
But it's holding together, is what was determined.
But like down
Yeah,
by the
it's
water and
right
the
there.
bench, like the shells look great. There's no weeds. Like as far as that goes, like this park was really good for that. So where some of the
Okay.
other ones, don't. But like if you look at the top, like I think if
Oh.
you
I got it right here.
Oh.
I'm looking at it. Which one that?
yeah, I'm not sure if you cut down all that stuff that's overgrown
Uh-huh.
and dead, if that fence would even stay up.
Yeah, I don't want to check into
Is this
it.
the one with the neighbor has his door opening up
Yeah.
in the park? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah. So that's all I have.
That's the last thing that Steve has on that. Because it's in the code you have to maintain your fence. And when it gets like that.
Well, we have a new code enforcement guy that's beating
No, he's
down
good.
doors, so.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, but that's all I had for the most part. It's just the thing, like I said, that stuck out to me is like the difference between the parks and how some of them are in really great shape and others are not in such great shape. And like if we can maybe give a little TLC to the ones that aren't a little neglected.
Yeah.
I mean,
To
even if it's
to
just-
spruce it up where we can.
Spruce up. They don't
Some
have
of
to
the
spend a
grass
lot of
issues,
money.
it could be just the exposure it's getting, how great the irrigation is actually working in the park.
Yeah.
That I know at South Park, it gets a lot of sunlight most of the day. In the summer months, it dries up very easily. So we really have to crank that irrigation to run it for long periods of time just to keep that
South Park
grass.
is the one across from Brown. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just needs like a walkway or something. Only people with
Yeah.
dogs can go on there.
Mhm.
Maybe-
Yeah, it's like some of them have
Just doesn't
sidewalks
have
and
a
some of them
walkway on
don't,
it.
and I didn't know why.
Again, I don't know what the design of some of these. Most of them were just donated in lots, and I don't know the years. Maybe I know they went through them a couple of years ago as far as the deeds and all that. It'd be interesting to put together a timeline of when these parks were first developed.
Okay.
But I don't know what determined the landscaping, why trees in certain spots.
Or why some of them have
Right.
tons of landscaping and
If
others
it was
have
just
nothing.
the time it was donated, they just put a lot more design work into like Belle Isle. I don't know.
It was budget and timing.
Well, could
Yeah.
it have been like
I
if the
know-
lot was donated, could it have had some of the landscaping on it previously when it was donated? Or do you think the city did all the landscaping in all of them?
I'm guessing they did some, I don't know the conditions of what the lot was, if
Okay.
it demoed something or,
Okay.
but I do know that they did have sort of like a master landscaping plan. It was like early 2000s that they kind of went through and added some things in different parts. I can look through like what, because I found that in my office. I could see kind of what was involved in some of these parks, and maybe it might have a little reasoning in the design of why they did it.
Cole, can you hand that to Kyle?
Yeah, I don't think the Parks and Rec Committee was involved in it.
It doesn't look like
I
it.
think it was the city manager who just made some decisions.
I don't even know if it, I'd have to look at who did it or if they contracted somebody to kind of come up with something. There's a little binder.
Those are just my notes if you want them.
Oh, okay.
I didn't email
Is it the same stuff that was in the,
them. Some of it, not all of it.
okay.
And then my question,
Okay.
Kyle, like, so for, like, are you gonna go through all this and decide what goes on this? And then
Yeah,
just let
well,
us
I
know?
gotta go through it all and
Well,
get it all on our list. And then, obviously I'm gonna take care of what can be taken care of quickly and versus what it's gonna take more time. But I wanna get it all on the list so that we're
Do you
tracking
want
it.
us to help you right now? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you, like, is this something that is there something we can help you with, or is it easier for you to just look at our notes and write it in?
I think I'm just gonna go one by one through everything, cause I got, there's some things that you said, look good, so I just gotta, I didn't really, honestly, I did not look at it, much of it before this meeting, because I figured that we'd just go through it all.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you guys went through and did the explanations, I'll just go through each one and add it all and then see where we end up on how much is quick fixes versus what can be done maybe in 6 months versus what needs to be budgeted.
Yeah, no,
or
that's good.
considered,
And could you, no rush, like the next meeting or the meeting after that, however long it takes you, can we just, can we see it when you're done?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Fair.
of course.
I mean, just out of curiosity.
No, I'll give you guys copies.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody have anything else? Thank you, everyone, for doing those. Like, it's good that we have eyes and, pictures and, and I know that they're out there all the time, and for the most part, everything looks good, and like, none of them's being completely neglected, like, no one ever shows up and does anything, but it's just like extra eyes on everything, and,
Yeah.
like Nora may have caught something that I didn't catch at, Belle Isle, you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
good, because, everybody sees things differently, so, and it's good that we take pictures, and it's a good
You're
exercise.
proactively out there. I mean, when we get someone tell us about something that needs to be fixed, we fix it, but you guys are going out there and, looking for issues or sort of what could possibly be an issue in the future, and that's a step above
Does
all
anyone
that.
call about the walkway? That little walkway? That's basically a
Oh, like the little easement, that little walking easement?
That's kind of dropped.
That dropped, right? We
It
were
dropped.
thinking about putting like.
Oh, it's still being budgeted. It's
So
in
we-
there, it's being, accumulating funds to
Do a
pay.
ground up tire or whatever. it
So
was,
that-
shells.
To do the shell.
No, it went from the shell idea to asphalt now.
Oh.
And I know that there are two sides to that, so it's still being saved for, and now
Sure.
eventually it's gonna come to the point where we're
Make a
looking to
decision on
move
it.
forward with it, and I don't know if at that point there's gonna be people that wanna speak out about not doing it.
Do they have a year? Like, they think, oh, we'll have enough money in 2024? I know you're
I don't have the
saving.
budget on me, but
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
I was just curious if there was a time frame where they wanted it to be done by X day.
no, there was talk though, they may, when they do the next project, when the equipment's out there to utilize, the paving equipment and the contractor that's out there to do it in sections as you move up. So the next project is gonna be that 12th and 13th, stormwater project. So once that gets moving forward, that is gonna be considered of doing from 13th to 14th.
Okay,
Because you might as well do it while they're out there
yeah.
and build it in, and you're funding it from a different source, but
Okay.
it's saving money.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody have anything else with this? All right, great, thank you for doing those. Okay, the next item on the agenda, number 7, is our event at the end of the month, April 30th, Fly Me to the Moon, 4:30 to 7:30. I think we're pretty much set with everything as far as what we can do this far out. So like the music is set up, the Italian food truck is set up. Kyle has the signs made that are gonna go out throughout the city on Monday. It's been on a sign, it's on the website. Patty sent out a constant contact blast today. I don't know if you guys saw it in your email. That just had a little bit more information, but how many people did we have on constant contact? Kyle, like 350 or something like that?
Yeah, it goes to the new list. Oh, that sounds right, but I'll check.
Yeah, so I
you
mean,
have an idea.
we are pretty much set up, like we ordered a few Italian decorations. So those are in, I think we pretty much have everything that we need. We are going to,
I called Publix today and spoke to the manager, and they said they need to at least know by Monday before, but I'll do 2 weeks
Okay.
to go and order up those mini cannolis and pay for them.
okay, so what we're
So I was
gonna,
planning on next Monday.
okay, and I'm pretty sure the last meeting, like Kyle went over those nylon bags that we were gonna do, giveaway were like $4 a piece and we just can't do it. So instead, we couldn't find, the Italian ice vendor was unavailable and we couldn't find anybody else to do dessert, so we decided on giving out the mini cannolis. And we're gonna turn it into like Lynn's, we're gonna do a retirement table for Lynn, and so like the cannolis will be like the cake, and like we have a couple things. He wants it real small, he doesn't want it to be made a big deal, but he will be there and it'll be his last event as the city manager. So we'll do a little thing for him and like maybe say a couple of words at the band break. But like we'll tie the cannoli giveaway into that whole thing. And then we're gonna meet the Friday before like we normally do and set up as much as we can. And then on that Saturday, the event starts at 4:30, so we can probably be here at 3:30. And the band's probably gonna wanna be here an hour beforehand. So I would say 3:30, 3 o'clock?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'll be here before that. So
Okay.
I'll do pickup for the cannolis, like maybe even earlier than that. 'Cause
Yeah, and I know you're gonna get the water and the ice,
Mhm.
and we can have that all set up.
And what are we doing for our, how much water we're planning on 200?
200,
Okay,
yeah.
That's our number. Okay.
Yeah, I would say 200.
So everyone arrive at 3:30, somewhere between?
30.
Yeah,
3.
o'clock.
Yeah, I think earlier is good.
Yeah, and the Friday before
Better
is
than
2,
one time.
like it normally is.
Okay. That is right.
So Friday the 29th is 2 o'clock, and Saturday the 30th is 3 o'clock. And then Kyle booked the sheriff's department, the security.
Yes, that got put in this week.
And then I think that was it. Like everything else on my list that I had to talk to Kyle about, he did. So the sign, security, order the cannoli, and then yeah, like I said, all the decorations, all that stuff are in. Kyle and Nicole went and placed a new t-shirt order, so we have inventory. We have beach towels, we have
We already
t-shirts.
sold 2 men's shirts.
Really? Whoop, whoop.
Because I've been actually like saving them for the event, but they're coming out of the woodworks wanting.
No, that's
So
okay.
if they come specifically, Laura comes and gets them and we sell them. So
Okay,
That's
yeah,
fine.
so that's good.
yeah.
So is there anything that anybody else could think of? I think we're pretty much set with this. The only thing I think I haven't seen if Lynn added the pricing of the Italian food vendor to the website. I know it wasn't on the email blast. It
And
just
Patty.
said, I'm sorry, Patty.
Yeah.
What he sells, but it didn't say that it's,
So check on that.
I
Yeah.
didn't even get that email blast, I just looked.
Are you on Constant?
I wonder.
Well, maybe she just sent it to me and she hasn't
No.
put it on
No, I
Constant.
got it.
No, I
Did you
got
get
it.
it? Okay.
I'm just not on it. Whoopsies.
There's a form that you have to fill out.
Probably didn't do
And if you don't fill out the form, you don't get it.
Let's just take it for you.
All right.
That's funny.
Good.
So you didn't get any of the political blast because you weren't on the constant
I
contact?
got the political mass. No, I didn't.
Okay, so that's
They were all
why.
forwarded to me.
Okay,
It was
yeah,
peacefully.
there you go.
It's a good time to sign up for it.
Yeah.
I'll have a little, leave the guy and take the cannoli sign. Or cannolis.
But is there anything else that anybody can think of? It should be pretty easy. We already went through it with Jazz and not a whole lot changed. So and we have everything in house. We're not hanging the stuff from the, so there will be no,
So what are we setting up at 2 p.m. on Friday?
we're doing the gift bags with all of the, we have 100 gift bags to put together. And then we're gonna set up the tables with the tablecloths and put them in the room. So all we have to do is walk them outside. So yeah, so on Saturday, hopefully we're not running around sweating or
Yeah.
everything's just like a nice, easy setup.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah, we need to have Kyle make a note to have a money bag and change, right?
Okay.
And then, I'm trying to think. Like last time, I think like we were like, oh, we should have said something.
Just kidding.
Thank you.
It's 3:57 right now. Residents that get emailed.
3:57. I was close then.
3:57 now.
Kyle, the only other thing that we thought of was just, and I'm sure you would remember anyway, that we need a money bag with change for that day
Yep, for merchandise sales.
for merchandise sales. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have 2 tents, so we'll have to put those
Mhm.
up that day. And then we have all the recycle, the first aid, the garbage cans. We pretty much know where things need to be placed, because remember last year we moved
Yeah.
things like 27 times. We know where things go and where they work best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be. I'm gonna call the band one more time just to make sure they're gonna be here at like 3:30 and, check the box on that. But they're reliable, obviously, and anything else?
What, we do have decorations.
Yep.
They're not as crazy individual things like last time. Thank God for your kids.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we'll need
So-
ladders. We won't be we have Italian flags and we have some banners that we can hang.
We got like those string flag type things.
Yeah, so that's really, we'll hang those along the front, and then we got for the merchandise section, like last time we had, I can't remember what colors, but this time we got red and green, we got Italian colors for the clips, for the merchandise samples.
Mhm.
And then I have 3 red and white checkered Italian tablecloths, so we'll do those over certain tables. And I think that's it. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, and if we haven't thought of it, we could take care of it Friday or that Saturday. And hopefully, the goal is that we get double the amount of residents. So last year we had 100, so this year hopefully we get around 200. So that's hopefully, the more the merrier, but hopefully more people come, so we'll see how it goes.
Mhm.
Does anybody have anything else with that? Okay, cool. Item number 8. So this one kind of went me, but so technically, if you look at our events, so this one on April 30th is in this year's fiscal budget, and all the rest of them fall into next year's fiscal budget because we moved Jazz to November from September. So our new mayor requested that we have a chili cook-off in September. And so I'll let Kyle kind of take it from there. I did send him a text today saying, for certain reasons, it can't be a city-sponsored event, and I'll let Kyle kind of explain it.
Well, I think when the idea, because we got a little more details, was to have residents bringing their chili that they prepared at their houses that would be given out to the public. And then there was a question of, what is that safe to do, and what happens if somebody brings chili that has something in it that contaminates and gets people sick.
Bel Air does it every year.
The Bel Air Foundation, Community Foundation does it. And I talked to them, and what she told me was that they have a free everything event. So they do like the cornhole, and they do the chili, and everybody brings it, and it just is, they just let it, it's like a free for all, I guess, where people give it out to who they want to. But we were more concerned, because we're not one of those type of organizations, that just for liability's sake, we just didn't want to be providing food to the public from people that weren't licensed vendors that follow health safety inspections.
And didn't you say something about the health department, the fact
So I
that we
called the
don't have a
health
kitchen?
department, and I kind of just like went through my thought process with them, and they were in agreement with the idea that it could be a problem. It's not a safe way to go to have somebody people bringing things and serving it to the public. They were, we were kind of just thinking about it, and they said that, there's temporary permits for events, for public food events, but usually there's set guidelines where you either have them prepare the food on site, or there's just certain measures that are taken to make sure that the public couldn't get sick, or that it's a smaller chance of something being prepared wrong. So I don't know. I couldn't find any examples of city-sponsored events. The only things I was finding when I was searching even nationally were if there was a chili cook-off, it was either they had local restaurant vendors that already had food license, that either competing in that nature, or food truck drivers that are, obviously they serve the public, or if Lynn and I were talking when we did do it in Oldsmar, it was a judged event for people who brought their own chili, but the public did not get that chili. It was just judges. So it was like a little competition.
Yeah.
But the only chili that was given to the public was provided by the city, which was just canned chili with condiments.
Hormel, no beans.
Yeah, that was it. But so there were certain rules followed, because again, you don't want to have someone giving out chili that we're sponsoring the event, and then a bunch of people get sick from that chili, because we don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if like Tammy Lavenda, Bel Air Beach resident, or Dave Gaddis, Bel Air Beach resident, wants to rent out City Hall, however that would look, and have a private party, then the city's not liable.
Yeah.
Because the city's not
That's a
involved,
problem.
which means the Park and Rec Board isn't
No.
doing it. It's a private event, and if it's a private event, it's no different than you having a party at your house. So I didn't call Dave because I know he works during the day. I just sent him a text saying, the health department, and he sent me something back and said he's going to think about it. So I don't know where that's going to land, but
It's gonna land right there. Exactly what you just said. That's his option, it sounds like.
like if he wants to do his own personal party, yeah.
And he has all those, everyone's, information, so you can invite all of his personal.
Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of like, we're gonna leave that, and, and then Kyle and I have kind of been talking about, and of course, me, I like, let's I was kind of discussing with him having an event right around the same time frame of like a dinner dance, and we sell tickets. So like, have a catered dinner, have like a cocktail hour, or like, wine and beer, have music, have dinner, and have dancing from like 6 to 10. So I kind of priced out some things. We would be looking at like, say it's $7,500, so it would be like $65 a ticket. And then you get a sit-down dinner wine and beer and entertainment for 4 hours. And I don't know if that's something that we want to undertake. I don't really think it wouldn't be us serving, it wouldn't be us bartending, it wouldn't be us, you know what I mean? Like, having people do that would be set in the cost of the ticket. So if we went, we would pay for our tickets and we would enjoy it with our significant others. Like, all of the things that we would do would be beforehand. But that may not be something that we want to bite off. And then but I'm bringing it up to just say, we have money in the 21-22 fiscal budget because everything else we have for the rest of the year, meaning Halloween, jazz, and Christmas, fall into next year's budget. So I just want to kind of check with you guys and see if because I kind of wanted to present the 3 main events and then possibly one other one to City Council in May so they could vote on everything at once and people would know well in advance what's on the Park and Rec Board calendar and they could look at the website and say, hey, you know, we've got a few things. And obviously we did these last year, so hopefully people will kind of be like, hey, I wonder if they're going to do that again. So I don't know, I'm just opening up for discussion for a September event through the Park and Rec Board. If you guys want to do another one because we have money in our budget, and we have an opening. But we didn't do jazz because it's so hot outside. So like,
I was thinking the weather.
we could do something later in the evening. We could do something inside. I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there. And I don't expect you to come up with like, you know, a whole game plan, but like, just if you've thought in the past of anything that might be like, hey, this might be work, or, you know, good, or this might be fun. Because right now we're doing pretty much like, what's the word? You know what I mean? We're doing pretty, like if you look at other people's city calendars around, like we're doing things that a lot of other people are doing. So it's like if we wanted to do something that's like unique to us, or, what do you guys think about the dinner dance idea? Like to just yay, nay, too much? Because that doesn't come out of our budget at all though. Like the way, I mean, I guess it could if we had some money, but.
If you don't sell enough tickets, it will.
Well, this is a thing. If we don't sell, like say capacity is 70 couples. So 140 people is what fits in that room. The caterer does it by person. So we have a maximum, we would have to set a minimum. And kind of what I was thinking was, we open it up to Bel Air Beach residents only for the first 2 months of ticket sales. And then if we have no takers, then it's Bel Air Beach residents and guests. So it's like if you want to invite, you know, your neighbor that lives in, you know, wherever, Reddington, or your, you know, your family who's in town visiting. We just want to make sure that Bel Air Beach residents would get the ticket opportunity first, and then if we don't have takers and we're not to the minimum, then, you know, we could open it up to, but you have to have a guest. You have to have somebody that like, and because we would do more like family style, we would have a seating arrangement, and like you would be sitting with all people that you know, and it would be plated salad and then family style, like entree, side dishes, starch, whatever. And then, because if you do plated everything, because you have to rent every single dish, every single fork, all of that, to have individual plated, hand it to each person individually, like will make the costs go through the roof. And obviously a buffet is easier, but buffets suck. And I mean, I don't, like, who wants to get dressed up and then go stand in the buffet line? I don't. I'd rather not, like. So family style, if you're with a table of people that you know and you knew you were coming and you know what the, you know, it's like, oh, the 8 of us want to sit together, then you have no problem passing this chicken or the salmon or whatever over to your.
What if you're not though? What if you're not?
It just is what it is then. You're just sharing. I mean, it's not like people are picking up food with their fingers. You're, you know, there's going to be serving utensils.
Okay.
So, I mean, it would be no different from a buffet at that point. Like if you're sitting with it, like if only you and your significant other are coming and you don't know anybody and you're just sitting at a random table, then it would be no different than a buffet. Because there's still like, you know what I mean, you're picking it off of. So I don't know. Maybe we just take the 3 that we already have down and that we've already done to city council in May, and we think about it for a bit. And does anybody have any thoughts on it now?
I think it's gonna be a huge undertaking on doing it. I don't know how many people we're gonna get on it.
Yeah, I mean, we never know for anything how many people we're gonna get.
Well, but this is a ticket, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a kind of bigger price tag. I think some people are willing to.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a cost involved where everything else we do is free. But, you know, you are getting a sit-down meal and alcohol and
Oh, yeah.
entertainment, and you can't get that anywhere else for. And the caterer that I looked at literally caters for the city of Largo. They cater for 3 professional baseball teams. They've been in business. They're very well established, and they're like, you can sample out what you want. So we know that like the food is, and you know, I asked her, I'm like, you know, how do you keep the food hot? I want to make sure that from your kitchen to the table that, you know, like we went to an event at Bel Air Country Club and it was outside and it was, they served everybody individually. Those plates had been sitting in the kitchen for 2 hours. They were cold and it's like, I didn't eat anything. My husband ate all of it, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was just, I want the food to be hot as it comes to the table, so I went through all of those questions with her, like to make sure that they have chafing dishes and they take it right from the chafing dish to the serving platter to the table. And I think she said for a party at maximum 5, they would have 5 wait staff, and then we would have 2 bartenders. But the thing is with her, their minimum is 10 people. We would never do that for 10 people, but if we have less people, the cost goes down. So, but we kind of do, well, I guess the overall cost goes down, but the cost per ticket doesn't go down. So yeah, it would be, and it would be a first, because, I mean, I don't know, you've lived here a long time. Have we had anything like that here?
Not that I can remember.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
A lot's been done.
yeah, it may have been done. I don't know if it's
They've
been
done a
done.
lot of things here.
Yeah.
You have a
I
list.
don't know, maybe they ask Lynn if he knows historically, things like that's been done.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought, like, when you mentioned chili cook-off, I thought that would actually, like, I was like, okay, well, that would be better because it's easier. Everybody just brings their pot of chili. But, like, we can't do that as a Park and Rec Board event for said reason. So, like, I just thought we have the budget, we have a time frame. If we want to do something else, we can. If we don't, I know our budget doesn't roll over, though. So if we don't use it, we lose it, and I
When
don't.
we lose it, where does it go? Where does
It doesn't go
allocate?
anywhere. It doesn't go
Just
anywhere.
allocate to other things that need to be done?
It just, it goes into the next year's budget, it's just, but it doesn't go into like your specific budget.
Yeah,
It just,
yeah.
the city obviously keeps has the money, they just
Sure.
didn't spend it, so
No.
I think it's reallocated, yeah, I guess, and whatever's not allocated, it goes into our
Sure.
reserves, as undedicated reserves.
Mhm.
So, but if we had, as the Park and Rec Board, if we had money left over in our budget, could we say, oh, well, we request to put a kayak launch at 2nd Street? Can we do that? Oh, okay.
No, because your budget is for your,
Yeah.
what you use it for.
Well, then, I mean, honestly, it's like,
It's connected though?
yeah, it is connected. Is it specifically,
I don't think it
Could
should.
you have me?
is it specifically for events?
No,
It says special promotional events, that's what your budget is.
Okay. Well, I think, I don't want to lose it. I think we should
If
use it.
anything was to get upgraded or maintained in a park, there's a separate public works
Budget.
budget that comes out of.
How much money are we talking
$3,000, most of it, because I want to say that the April event is about what is it, $1,200? 8, 9, 10, 11. Maybe
You got 15.
Okay, so it's $1,500. So yeah, 2,500
Minus the raffle, it's probably a little less.
Yeah.
This is an old one. And we're not doing the sports packs.
No.
We're doing the cannolis, so like another
That's cheap. Yeah, less expensive.
150 less.
So maybe that's where I got that.
We can always just do like, I don't know, something in September, like a happy hour thing. If we can't like swing for all the food. I'm just saying.
Jules brought up something where they had like a sunset social or something. That might be fun. Like, which would, it's just a different name for a happy hour. We could, and Kyle's already done all the research on getting a temporary license and insurance, and that's about $600.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
could definitely work.
the license is
That
cheap,
idea
the
might be a
insurance.
little bit better, like
Gotcha.
sunset social, just having cocktail hours, maybe a small bite, cheese boards, whatever it is.
A choo-choo board.
And
Choo-choo board.
I also thought that our sunset painting was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we don't pay
He does the
anything
same
for
exact
that.
same thing, I know.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I have put that out there, or we have 3 times, and 2 of them we had to cancel because no one signed up. So it's kind of like one of those
How much
things.
was it? Was it expensive? I can't remember.
We paid, I want to say, $29 a person or something like that.
Oh.
No, it's not expensive.
No.
Not for 3
I couldn't
hours,
remember.
and he supplies everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely get that on the schedule again.
That's fun.
We-
It's the same exact, I think it's gonna be the same people doing the same exact.
Do you want to try again? I can just call them and get a date. What do you guys think? I mean, it doesn't really affect anything.
I like the cocktail hour though. I was just.
Oh, those are, yeah,
You
completely
said sunset.
separate.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, and then my brain went there and I was like, oh.
I'll call him about a painting class. Yeah, I like the cocktail hour thing.
I like that. I feel like more people go to it. Ticket prices will be a lot less. We'll use some of that money, you know?
So you're still gonna do tickets, and then you're gonna.
You have to do tickets?
I don't know. I'm just asking how. you're
No.
gonna do it.
We'll see
You don't
what-
have to.
You don't have to. 'Cause we
No,
have
because I
money for
mean,
it, right?
if it's small plates and like,
Yeah, but
isn't the drinks they pay per person?
For
No,
what?
because the or like, if we get a liquor license for a temporary event and our own insurance, we don't need to get it from anybody else. So we can buy the booze,
Yeah.
buy the wine and beer, and which will save a ton of money.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a full bar. You can just have like wine and
Yeah.
cheese or
Wine and beer.
beer, tacos, whatever you want to do, you know?
That's
It
a
could
good
just
idea.
be like a one or the other or the, you know,
So
so it
if
could be, because once you start getting into
The one thing
full
you gotta-
bar, it gets real.
Think about is just making sure, because it all has to be written out how you're gonna. Everyone needs to be ID'd and wristband. So there's a little bit of legwork in it, but
We could do it at the door.
Where are we talking about doing it?
alcohol serving
Here?
fall.
Here.
Okay. Well, I envision sunset being at
The beach.
the beach, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Can't you do
Morgan
like
Park.
twilight hour or something? I don't know.
We could just call it something different,
We'll
but
figure
yeah.
that out.
Because it's so hot, we would probably do it here as opposed to outside and just call it twilight or happy hour or something like that.
Sunset's fine, that was the image I got.
No, I know, I got the same
Yeah, I
thing.
start with, yeah, cocktail hour, that's all I was, if we were gonna do it here.
So
you
like
have
a 5 to 7 and then people could still go out to dinner if they wanted to after? Is that what you're thinking? Like that
Yeah.
would be happy hour?
Yeah, whatever is like, I just thought it would be something like on a little smaller scale, so that we can,
When is sunset? It's 8:30 in the summer or in September?
Tricky.
Late, right?
It's right around 8,
Plan.
remember? Because it was pitch dark like when they were cleaning
How
up
many?
at 8. What?
I
Yeah.
mean, were we expecting the same numbers? It's kind of, that's a tricky one to plan because we're buying.
We almost need to sell
Supplies.
tickets for even $10 to see how many people we're getting.
That would help
Yeah.
That works.
with tickets, because it's tough when you don't know who's coming. How do you plan for the exact amount? And
That's
you
true.
don't want too much surplus, then you're gonna,
And then you don't want not enough either.
yeah.
So yeah, I would.
So it is better, when you think about it like that, to do tickets.
When do we have to have a answer for this? I mean, we're talking about different options now, but do we have time to?
Sure. Yeah, I
You gotta
could.
have it planned out so then you can present it to get it approved.
We don't have to have every detail planned of, we could add it to the list to just say, in September, we want to have, the only thing that we would have to come up with is the name. And,
Well, they're not gonna approve it unless you have it pretty well planned out.
well, no, but I mean, we can plug in the little boxes on that, you know what I mean, on this. And because I already have all the estimates from the bar and the caterer,
Yeah.
all we'd be doing, I mean, if you go to her website, it'll say appetizers, blue, 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 and we could just totally shrink this. Where is my, here it is. This is what we would present to city council if we did the big $7,000 or $8,000. All we would do is change sit down dinner to, you know what I mean? Like that number would shrink considerably. And we'd still have to have security. The bar's the
Definitely
same.
security, but,
Yeah, we would still have to rent the glassware. In like small plates. We wouldn't have to rent all the silverware and tablecloths. It would be more like, we don't have cocktail tables, do we? Like, you know, those tall round things.
We just have 5-foot rounds.
Yeah.
Or can we just have like a social gathering or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's
Yeah.
nice when people have a plate of food and a glass that they have a high table to set it down on so they
Yeah.
can eat and put their glass or whatever down. But we could do those on low tables too, because that's what
I
we
mean,
have.
It depends what level you're talking, because you're still kind of talking a little fancy. I don't know what everybody else was envisioning, because I thought, I'm just asking like
Oh,
the
no, I know.
level like of like what we're serving.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, because like just as you mentioned cocktail tables, all of a sudden like
I thought,
my
yeah.
vision changed
Whoa.
again.
Well, no, I would just say if like, you know, like Nicole's idea about the charcuterie boards, if someone has their little cheese plate and their grapes and their glass of wine, then they're talking.
Okay, I've got a name for this event.
What?
Date night, wine and cheese.
That's cute. I like it.
It's casual, but not real casual. It's not
Yeah.
just simple date night, wine and cheese.
And it's set up in here, but obviously it's in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm down for wine and chilies, I'm down for beer and tacos, I'm down for any kind of combination you guys want to do on whatever time, so.
but would we charge 15 a person or 10 a person?
Well, okay, so this is the thing, like, what I can do is I can go on the caterer's website, because for the full meal, it was $25 a person, so obviously that's gonna shrink way down. So I would look and see just like if you picked a smattering of appetizers, if it's $10 per person, and then we get all the pricing situated, and then see what, we have $2,500 in the budget, and then we would offset if we were a little bit short in the budget by the ticket sales. So I would say
Right.
$10, right?
Like we talked about before, if it goes over what you have in your budget, you gotta get an adjustment.
Right. Yeah. Does that make sense? So yeah, it would probably be $10 or $15 a person. 10 would be great, because that, I mean, I think that
It's
just
inviting.
is, yeah.
Yeah. That would be good.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not trying to make it sound fancy, but what are you picturing? What do you think you're picturing that I'm picturing differently?
Me? Or
Well, I'm
him?
just thinking like, these cocktail tables, are you planning on renting them?
Well, no, I just asked if we had them. Since we
No.
don't have them, we'll just use what we have.
So we'll just use the rent, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just figured we'll have like one table for like people can come up for the beer and wine, and then the other table with like the cheeses and like the meat, like whatever, and then like
So-
kind of like a buffet, but not really like.
So-
Yeah, but it's not a dinner, so it's fine that it's,
Yeah,
it's-
so then people could just come and grab what they want, and then it's like kind of like a social thing, and then they can talk to whoever
Could I
they
have
want.
something like vegetables,
Yeah.
olives?
Yeah, whatever like the plates are
Whatever.
that they normally have, and then, I mean, we can probably even get like the plastic stuff cheap if it doesn't come with it.
It's like the appetizer table of like weddings.
Yeah,
But
and we
you're-
don't have to rent plates.
Yeah.
We can get plastic plates. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I would like
You're
to not.
picturing glassware with the people serving from their bar.
I would
They're pouring,
like to get glasses.
they're
I don't
taking
really
our
want to.
container, they're taking our purchased alcohol and then pouring it into the glass.
Yes,
And it would be like a red and a white wine and then,
a domestic and an import or something.
This is why I asked
And
how
a
much
light
time
or-
we have. We don't have to plan out all the details now. We just have to get some numbers to present to.
IKEA has
Yeah.
thrown parties and like on bigger scales and like side my house, and I just went to IKEA and I knocked out. I mean, they're like $2
they
a
have cheap
stab,
glass.
you know. So I had some martini glasses going. I had whatever it was, but they were really inexpensive and they looked really nice.
They're $1 a piece to rent.
They're, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's totally fine.
Because what we talked about
Yeah,
is
that
like,
way, yeah,
yeah, if you buy them because they're
You have
cheaper.
to save
Yeah,
them.
whatever.
So that's what I did.
There's no
I
dishwasher.
know. I had a really tall kitchen and I just put them all on top of IKEA where people put, you know, and that's where I stored them.
Yeah.
And it worked, but I would have, you guys probably don't want them in boxes, but they actually come in like a moving box, you know, and you just.
It's the matter of no dishwasher.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's like what we talked about on one of the websites that I looked at. To rent a tablecloth was $27. To buy a tablecloth is $11.
Yeah.
Like that would be an easy wash, dry, and shove in a garbage bag
You
and
can go in
save
a
us
garbage bag and you tie it up and throw it in the.
till the next time we can use it. Like so, we won't
Yeah.
rent things that are cheaper to buy that we can store. But the glassware is hard.
Plus
I-
you gotta clean it.
Plus you gotta clean it.
Yeah.
But like I really don't wanna do plastic wine glasses if we can afford it. I mean, plastic appetizer plates are okay.
Yeah.
You can
And then if
find,
you're renting it too, it's on them to have clean glasses.
yeah, all you do is shove the glasses back in the
And
box
they pick 'em
dirty
up
and they pick them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kinda worth, especially if it's a small scale and even if we get 200 people, we don't have to have wine glasses and water glasses. We don't have to have like multiple kinds of glasses. We don't have to have silverware. We don't have to have linen napkins. We can have like just cocktail napkins. So it'll be way less expensive than what I was looking at because it was either gonna be all that way or all
I
that
like this. I
way.
think this is a little bit more inviting. I think the price tag will be friendlier, and I think more people will feel less of a commitment of like getting super tall, you know what I mean, and being there on time. They can kind of come and go.
Well, and the other thing is we see the response without like
Yeah.
dedicating it like to something where you have to buy a ticket in advance. Because we're still gonna have to, like Kyle said, we have to give the caterer a number by a certain day. We have to know how many people are coming so we know how much like wine and beer to buy
Yeah.
and how much supplies we need, blah, blah, blah.
I think it'll cost more than $10 a person, but we have that in budget to cover, you know? And I think that'd be nice.
Yeah. So it'd be kind of like their $10 pays for a portion of it, but like the rest of it is kind of like,
It's
The
not
rest
enough
of our
to cover
bets.
the entire cost.
Yeah.
It really gives a head count, and it's a low enough number that I think nobody's worried about, you know?
yeah,
Spending $10 to come by and say hi.
yeah.
Yeah. Also they put a little stake into it so you get an idea of who's interested in what.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's
is that
good.
You have a commitment.
It's non-refundable.
It's a little bit more solid.
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely
more
not
solid.
refundable.
Unless you're on your deathbed, or you have a doctor's note on why you
This
can't
is
make
cute.
it.
Yeah, okay. No, that's great. I like it.
Wine, cheese,
Great.
almonds, grapes, fruit, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, just kind of hummus, whatever people like.
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever she makes is great.
no, that's perfect. All right.
You kind of make a meal out of it, or you just have a bite.
So what I'm gonna do is I will type up one of these, adjust, give it to Kyle, and then he'll send it to you guys. And then you can make little notes if you want to, like suggestions, hey, how about not this or that? And then we can kind of do it that way as opposed to having another meeting.
For this event, yeah.
Mhm. Is that good for
Because
you?
you want to have this all set kind of by next month. Not
Yes.
even-
For the May thing, so we could present all 4
Yeah.
events as opposed to piecemealing, doing 3 of them and then going back and going, oh yeah, we want to have one before that. And then I would explain, but they'd know that like the 3 events go towards next year and this would be the second event in this year's budget.
This is May 2nd, the next meeting?
Mhm. And today is what, the 13th?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you guys if I plug,
Yeah.
I'll type it out, plug it in and have Kyle email it out to you? And we can kind of just have email discussions from there?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. All right. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add to that number 8 item?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. Number 9. Okay, this is just 2 seconds. Our sponsorship for our events. So it's not so much this part that we put together that needs to be worked on by the city attorney. What it is like, say, I don't know, Bel Air Dental wants to do a $750 sponsorship. What they had before was a 3-page contract, and I guess it was real wordy. And so that's what's still with the city attorney, because they're trying to condense that down to 1 page so it doesn't scare people off, because it was just a lot. So like hopefully that's going to be also presented at the May meeting, and then we can start shooting this out to people and hopefully get some sponsors for some of these events.
Because I kept staying with you.
But even if we do get a sponsor for, say, like Wine and Cheese Date Night, we still have to sell the tickets so we know how many people, because people aren't going to RSVP in advance because they're going to wait and see what's going on or how they feel. But like if we sell the tickets, we're going to buy to accommodate that number. And again, we have a maximum capacity in that room. We have to decide what the minimum is, whether it's, I mean, we see what 100 people looks like outside. That room only holds 140. So I would say if we get 60, 70 people, that would be enough to make it look like it's busy in there. But we have to set a minimum
Yeah.
of people that buy tickets in advance. Is that cool? Okay.
So then we hit the minimum, if we don't, then we just
Sorry.
cancel, is what you're saying?
Well, I mean, say if we only get, worst case scenario, we sell 20 tickets. I mean, I would pretty much say we have to cancel and
Yeah.
refund the money because
Sure.
we can't do it for 20 people. You know, whatever our minimum is. But like 20 people in that room, you kind of feel like you're swallowed. Well, you know what I mean? We could section the room off in half. You've got those big dividers, but I don't know if we want to do that.
No, that sounds
It's
dumb.
20 people, we're moving it to your house. Just kidding.
Right,
I think,
exactly.
yeah, you want to have all the numbers worked out and then have these questions thought out, because they'll probably ask.
Yeah, okay.
It just sucks that we won't be able to present until May, because literally we will have the people here April 30th to be like, hey, we're hosting this, or at least let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll have like, say, even if only like 50, well, we're not saying that, 100 people show up, like at least they would be aware of the next event. Because sometimes
You
it's
tell
hard.
them what you're planning.
Yeah, I guess maybe we'll just like have a little sign
And you
or
can
whatever.
get them on
'cause-
the email list if they're not.
Yeah, maybe we could say, oh, you know, we're hoping to have an event September 24th. So if we're saying we're hoping, look to the city website for details. We can do that.
Okay.
Sure.
Because if we already have the
Right.
people here, because like
No,
it's
it's a
kind
good
of
idea.
hard. Like the Facebook group has like hardly anybody, and like next door is just no one
Yeah.
besides the
And get them on,
complainer.
tell them what you're thinking, and then get them on the email list.
Okay. Because then there would be a link for them to click to pay, and right, or they have to come here to pay, because then again we have people that work that can't get here before City Hall closes.
It would be great if we had a link to pay on.
I don't know if we're gonna have a link, because we just don't have a paying system like that.
Yeah, you
set
have to
up.
pay for that.
So we still could process tickets through email if they're willing to. Or
Mail the check? What
Yeah,
about,
they can mail the
what about
check.
Venmo or Zelle?
I'd have to get with finance to see what could be set up.
Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
she
good.
might be able to do, we do have a way we invoice, there's a little bit of a processing fee, but that we have that when anyone pays with a credit card, but with QuickBooks, we can send invoices that people can pay through links.
Oh, yeah,
So
That
that's the finance thing, how we can set it up best.
or PayPal, I mean,
So I'll
any of
ask her
that.
tomorrow.
Or what you could do is like,
What
we can
ideas
have
of that?
people email if they wanna come, and they put their name and how many, and then, yeah, their email, their name, and then many guests, and then we invoice them. And be like, we will send the invoice to this email you provided.
Just use regular mail too.
Yeah, but then you have to do stamps and,
Well, I'm just saying, if somebody, if it's
Well-
convenient, if we send out a piece of paper
We
that
have
has the information
here.
on it,
oh,
then you just put a check in it and drop it off at the front desk, or just send it back with a stamp, 50-cent stamp.
So yeah, I guess we can also do that. Like,
We should have several options available for the
yeah,
pay.
yeah, that works. Okay, well at least
Yeah,
we'll
think
let them
about
know.
what we want to offer. I mean, you could have Will call too.
But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves
For tickets?
right now, yeah.
What I wanted, sorry.
No, we just started with like, we should just at least somewhat say something on our like April 30th event, like, hey, we're thinking about doing this event,
Yeah.
just so people are aware. That was
I think
all.
so.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
long as you guys are okay with it, I don't see why we wouldn't. But anyway, so if we do have a sponsor for any one of these events, I'm hoping that the city attorney is done going through like the details of the contract and has condensed it, and we would also present that so we could start sending it out to like Duke Energy or Waste Management or just some of the bigger like companies that already work in the city, and just start there and then work our way down. Where it's just like an email, we're not like physically beating on doors of random businesses across the bridge going, hey, do you want to sponsor
Make
one of
them
our
aware
events?
of our program and
Yeah,
seeing if they're
exactly.
interested.
So hopefully we have that. I'm gonna call tomorrow and see where we are with that. Yeah, number 10 is basically just what I said. So May proposal to the city council for the entire 2022 event schedule. So hopefully we have all 4 things together that can be presented and voted on. And then item number 11 on the agenda, so the Bel Air Beach Community Foundation research update, like I know it's a separate entity, but it keeps coming up through our board or whatever. So we are making progress on that. I don't know if you have any questions about it. I don't know, does anybody here want to be on that board or want to like say I want to be part of that, or like there's options to be on the board and there's options to just be a member. So
What is this?
the non-for-profit,
Oh.
the whole thing that you did the research on like a year ago.
Mhm.
So I think I have people that want to be on the board. So like if you guys want to just be like, I maybe just want to be a member once it's set up or something like that. I just wanted to ask, since we've been talking about it for so long. So, because otherwise it's nothing really that I need to, update here. It will be updated more in the bigger picture.
We would kind of be working together at some point though, It ties in.
A little, yeah. Like if someone, like if the community foundation wanted to, someone wanted to donate a bench, it wouldn't go through us, it would go through him.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, we wouldn't have any say if
Right.
that entity wanted to do an event, or, if they say they wanted to do the chili cook-off, or, like, if you look at Bel Air's website, They do the Halloween event with the dog. They did Dog and Donuts like a month ago or something like that. They did the chili cook-off. They did the car event. I don't even know if they have a park and rec department and how they differentiate. Like they're
big.
they're so much bigger than us that I'm sure that their park and rec board has enough responsibilities without doing any events. Is my guess.
They do a lot of sports.
Oh, they do.
Oh yeah, like football leagues, summer
Yeah,
camps.
so they're recreation.
They're
Oh,
recreational
so they're-
department. They have basketball leagues.
Yeah, that's
okay.
like a big, typical bigger.
Got it.
Colored
Okay.
flowers.
Yeah.
Got it. So, yeah, we don't do any of that, obviously. So we're kind of now a combination of their park and rec board and their community foundation, but we're not non-for-profit, and they get away with a lot more than we can do as a city entity.
I would be interested. Are you going? Are you doing it?
I think so, just because, like, I don't, you know.
Nice to get it going.
Yeah.
And then you can always step up. If there's enough people on it, we're all bumping heads, yeah.
You need president, vice president. They have like a director, a membership coordinator.
Who is they? Who's spearheading
Bel Air.
this? Oh.
I'm
no,
just
I mean
talking about
for
their
this
web-
one. Who's spearheading? Okay.
Me. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So, and there has been some interest in people volunteering, and I do have
Sure.
a couple of people that I'm going to be knocking on doors to say, hey, do you want to help with this? So, okay. Where did I put that list? But I just wanted to let you know that that is not dead. That has had life breathed back into it, and we're making progress. So it may be something like, you know, we don't know how long it takes to, like once you fill out the paperwork and stuff like that and you send it to, I'm assuming it's Tallahassee, like it could take 3 weeks or it could take 6 months. We have no idea how long it takes to get the ball rolling. So we'll just,
Heard long time, but we're not sure.
yeah, we'll just find out. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted
We
to
don't
let
know.
everybody know that that is not,
Just hearsay.
that's not dead.
I guess unless we call them.
And I think if we as a park and rec board have anything to do with them, it would go through Kyle. Like, I wouldn't, like, say if I'm involved in that and I'm still doing
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like, I wouldn't bring it up in our meeting notes. It would be something that
Yeah.
entity brings
To the city.
and adds, they bring to the city because they're different. Or like, you know, we obviously would have to coordinate our calendars as far as like if they're having events and we're having events, we
Yeah,
would
that
coordinate and make sure that we're not, but it's no different than like finding out if someone's got a wedding or,
Yeah, so then if they were, once that our organization existed, yeah, it would be above your heads at that point. They would be dealing with this. You wouldn't be like the liaison or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Maybe go directly to the city
right.
for support and whatnot. Because you know, like in Oldsmar, the city, they had events in the parks, so they worked with the city on that, and then things were taken care of by the city, like trash or different support items.
Gotcha. And I think that's like a while ago when we talked about it. Like they have to be their own entity and we can be involved, but they're not the same.
No,
They're
it'd be their
completely-
event.
Huh?
It would be their event.
Yes, it's completely separate.
Theirs, the city could support
Yes.
different areas, providing the park or whatever venue.
Right. And they charge to be members, they have $100 as an individual member and $200 as a family. And I'm assuming like if, like how we have a little Bel Air Beach sticker for your car for the parking, you might get, a little sticker saying Bel Air Beach Community Foundation to show that you're a member kind of gig or something like that. And then it says your membership includes free admission to all events and refreshments. So if you look at their pictures, they're holding a beer, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. So I made some phone calls. Like that might be, if they did the dog and donut and you go, like you get a donut. But like if they do something that they have alcohol at, you get one beer and then you're wristbanded and then they sell the rest or something like that. Like, it's not unlimited everything if they do alcohol, because then there's no way they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have sponsorships just like this, but they are tax deductible where these are not tax deductible. If someone donates to the Park and Rec Board to sponsor one of our events, it's purely for their advertising and their exposure to the people that are there. If they donate through the community foundation, then it's a tax write-off, which is the
Yeah.
biggest difference.
Mhm.
So, anyway. All right. So, does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about or cover? I didn't put old business or unfinished business. So, if we're good, our next meeting will obviously be the 29th, which I should have wrote that on there. April 29th for setup.
Oh, yeah.
But our next real meeting will be, I don't know why I
The
have.
2nd or 11th?
Well, I have May 2nd at 5 p.m., but like May 11th at 2 o'clock.
Mind you have 5
Do you want to
p.m.
do the 2nd?
I don't know.
Were you just
Because
throwing
you-
out
did
late?
you
I
want
thought that we could do
everybody
it.
to go to the 6
I thought
p.m.?
we could do it before the council meeting if you guys were all going. That's exactly what it was. But no,
Oh.
I don't, you guys don't have to go if you don't want to. Like, sometimes you guys all come when I do presentations and sometimes you just can't. So, like, I think that's why I had a question mark at the end. So it could either be May 2nd at 5 before the meeting, because we won't have a ton of things. I mean, after the 30th event, we don't have anything until, you know.
Do you want us here for the 6 p.m. meeting? Then
You,
let's do
you,
that.
you can be. I mean, I like the support. I like that when we're all here, but I hate telling you because I know it's right in the
I'll
middle
be
of
here.
dinner.
You'll be here either way?
Yes.
Yeah, I've started coming to everything, so
All right.
I will be here.
How do we start here?
Just so you know.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
George?
What do you think, George? 5 o'clock and stay for the city council meeting or part of it, or 2 o'clock on the 11th?
Either way, it doesn't matter.
I just thought if you're all going to be here that night, then why come back again 2 weeks later if we can
And we
get
can kind of chat about anything we want to throw out last minute,
Yeah.
such as this,
And we can all go up if they ask a bunch of questions. We can,
or you can.
or I can by myself.
Okay.
And that's fine. So May 2nd at 5 o'clock?
Sure.
All right. So then that will be our next meeting, and then I move to adjourn the meeting.
Is that-
So we are adjourned.